Oh, yes, he will. What's up, everybody? Welcome. Happy Valentine's Day to all the lovers in the building, all the lovers in the sanctuary. Happy Valentine's Day. I hope you're having a great day. I hope that you're not sitting around, depressed. Hope you're happy, you're living. And if you have a significant other, I hope you are treating them as you usually treat them, right? Today's not really all that special, right? You should be treating them with love on a daily basis. Not only is it Valentine's Day, but it is the day that Bishop T.D. Jakes and his legal team have responded to the response of his accuser, Dwayne Youngblood. He came out and finally responded to the complaint that Bishop T.D. Jakes put before the courts, and a while back, and then Bishop Jakes had till today to respond to his response. So they waited up until the last day, and they've got it. I was thinking they're going to do what Blackburn did last time. He waited until the last day, probably waited, after the clerks were gone, so the clerks weren't able to kind of look at it and make sure that it was okay to post, on Pacer. But it looks like the court stayed around a little while over there in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So they were able to get it on there. And let me tell you, we're going to go through it. We're going to go through as much as we can. I tell you, it's pretty long. It is pretty long, but we are going to get through it right now. But before we get into that, I appreciate you coming through the sanctuary on this afternoon, early evening on the East Coast. Thank you for watching. Would you please hit that subscribe button if you're not a subscriber to the St. James Show, and hit the like button and turn on all notifications. Will you do that for me? Share on each and every one of your social media sites. Add us on all those as well. You can become a monthly supporting member. Membership link is in the description of this video, and our mods will put it in the chat as well. And there is your opportunity to support the platform. Not only can you support through those ways, like, CashApp and Zelle and all that, and PayPal, but right tonight we have a goal in the chat. If you look at the goal, we have a goal of 15 $5 or more super chats. So if you want to support the show and support the programs to keep us going, keep us, innovative and alive, make sure that you are supporting by any way that you see fit. Who's up in here? We're not going to go through a long roll call, but I see Princess was the first one up in here. CBBJ, Melanie Rice, thank you for being a member. You, Princess, and Anne, Queen Anne Brock is in the building. Thank you for being a member. You as well, Just Being Me and JP. Good to see you as well. Katrina is here on tonight, and a bunch of other. Tashi's in the building. Sharon T. Leonard, happy not Thanksgiving, Valentine's Day to you as well. Yolanda Spalding is here. Charlotte is in the building. Deanna, thank you for coming through. What's up, fitness is everything. Good to see you. Good to see you, Sir Asia. Anderson is here as well. Happy Valentine's Day to you. Dion Sanders is here. You're not the regular one, right? You're the female one, right? All right. La is in the building. Good to see you. And K Rich as well. Listen, let's get right to it. Listen, it's interesting. Let's see what explosive things that Jake's team has put in this response. There is a lot of exhibits and there's affidavits. So listen, yeah, London in the house. Listen, what's up, everybody? Deanne Stevens. I am Mrs. Ricks. James Solomon is here. Resurrected Word Ministries, Pink Collar. Everybody is up in the building time. Make sure you hit that like button, all right? Don't just come in, but come in and actually hit that like button for us, all right? Well, I got some cheap wine, but good wine. sipper. You know, it's over there at about $5 over there at Total Wine. Only about $5. Let's see who's leading. I only heard Clark sing this. That was Jahari McGee out of that was the Powerhouse Church of Chicago. They're doing that one. All right. What's up, Real good to see you. Let's get in here and get to seeing what how Bishop Jakes is gonna save this lawsuit. All right, because as we know, it's up against a dismissal, up against anti-SLAPP. So, you know, that's where Youngblood's people came through. Oh, Mr. Blackburn, who was his attorney, he came through and did that. So let me move this over a little bit. I want to make sure I can see some stuff, but make sure you guys are not just looking. Make sure you're hitting that like button and also supporting our goal on tonight. I'm gonna shorten this screen some though, because okay, what do y'all see? Okay, y'all see something. Okay, so as we can see, everybody, it's 28 pages here, and of course that's 37 documents. Not document 37 it's document 37. It was 28, but of course there's some affidavits and some stuff, and it looks like they got a book going, y'all. They got a book as they took some. It looks like they took some notes from Blackburn, and let's see here. So this is the plaintiff's opposition to defendant Youngblood's anti-SLAPP motion. All right, remember this is up for anti-SLAPP, so they are presenting the opposition to that. So let's go. See what else? And the table of contents here, y'all. You see the table of contents. They put it in the relevant background. Okay. Oh God, it looks like they're gonna drag Youngblood a little bit more. They're gonna drag him some more. They put in the argument is number 2. Okay. Bieber got the okay. It's all right, and then they have the conclusion. So it seems like a lot, but it may not be. Let's go. Let's go. All right, let's see here. They're gonna talk about there no anti-SLAPP. Oh, good. This is gonna be good. This is gonna be good. All right. Then they do their cases here. All right. Oh God, it reminds me of college. Oh yeah, it reminds me of having to put all this down. You know, you have to state where you got all your stuff from. They put in statute, they put case law, statutes, and other authorities. So we're not into it yet, and they put the rules. So they put a whole table of contents of what is to come. You hear me? All right. So an introduction, we're gonna and this may be good for some people who haven't been following the lawsuit. This is a good way of catching yourself up really quick as to what is going on with this. Who is this guy, Youngblood, that Bishop Jakes is suing? Who is this guy that says Bishop Jakes essayed him 30, 40 years ago with a hug and a missed kiss? Who is this guy? And after that was done, after he told his story on the YouTube social media influencers podcast or YouTube channel, Larry Reid Live, then after he tells the story a couple of times, then there was a demand letter sent to TD Jakes demanding $6 million, or there he was going, or Dwayne Youngblood was just going to continue telling his stories. He'll have a part 3, part 4, part 5, whatever parts he was going to have. He was going to continue telling his story if he did not receive $6 million. So after Tyrone Blackburn, his attorney, submitted that to the Jakes camp, they hit him with a lawsuit of defamation and also a lawsuit of pretty much extortion, accusing him of being, extorting $6 million from him. So listen, this is where we're at now. Dwayne Youngblood couldn't find an attorney. Then he found an attorney. So now we're at the point where he had a chance to respond to the complaint. He responded. And this is the response from, this is the opposition, the response from the so-called, anti-SLAPP that Dwayne would like to put up on the case, and also dismissal. All right. Are we clear? Oh, we're all clear. All right. All right. In August 2024, defendant Dwayne Youngblood left Pennsylvania State Prison. Oh, that they came out swinging. After serving almost 10 years for exploiting his position as a clergyman to sexually abuse minors, within 2 months of his release, Youngblood found himself on a YouTube podcast run by a longtime critic of plaintiff T.D. Jakes. There, he minimized his own conduct and cast blame on Bishop T.D. Jakes, claiming that he assaulted Youngblood in June of 1986 by cornering him, preventing him from leaving, and attempting to involuntarily kiss the teenage Youngblood. He also claimed that Bishop Jakes called the next day and offered to support him for life in exchange for sexual favors. This is all a lie. The tale reflects an ex-con's effort to take advantage of Bishop Jakes, who had met Youngblood and his family through their involvement in the same Rust Belt church network, but of course never assaulted him, to deflect the blame from his own heinous conduct, to extort millions, and to launch a new chapter in his career along with co-conspirators. Indeed, after his podcast appearances, Youngblood hired a publicist, launched a website, announced a new book, and created a life coaching and public speaking business. He also hired a lawyer, Tyrone Blackburn, to send a letter to Bishop Jakes demanding $6 million. Put in the chat, somebody, $6 million. Would you do that? I want to see some $6 million. Let's keep the focus here. Or else he would file unspecified claims against him and his church. Instead, Jakes filed this suit. Youngblood now attempts to avoid accountability yet again, this time by invoking Pennsylvania's anti-SLAPP law, necessary portions of which have not yet gone into effect, and misrepresenting its text, enlisting felons and family members to submit flawed affidavits, and by lobbying more lies, all to distract from his issues. Those efforts fail as matter of law and fact. Bishop Jakes believes in the power of forgiveness and always tries to turn the other cheek. But this is too much for anyone to bear. Bishop Jakes should be allowed to hold Youngblood and his co-conspirators. Here we go. Hold on. Let me see it. It threw off. I'm going to bring it back. Sometimes it throws off. Let me wait till it come back. All right. Are we back? We are back. That might happen because StreamYard is stupid. That's what it is. Stupid. Bishop Jakes should be allowed to hold Youngblood and his co-conspirators accountable for their lies and Youngblood's motions, and any attempts to attack the Jakes family with more false allegations should be rejected. All right. This is the relevant background from extremely humble beginnings in West of Virginia during the 1980s. Bishop T.D. Jakes built a church in America, Rust Belt and beyond. Bishop T.D. Jakes is one of the most prominent and respected spiritual leaders in the United States today. He is the founder and senior pastor of the Potter's House Church in Dallas, Texas, which has a global reach and a congregation exceeding 80,000 persons. He has authored 30 books, produces faith-focused music and films, and even won a Grammy. But that wasn't always so. Bishop Jakes grew up in a small town in West Virginia and began preaching part-time in 1980, founding a small church with just 10 parishioners while working at a chemical plant to support himself and his family. After the plant closed in 1982, Bishop Jakes spent the rest of the 1980s building a church while struggling to make ends meet, digging ditches at night. It was not until the 1990s, after meeting prominent evangelist Carlton Pearson and speaking at the 1993 Azusa Evangelical Conference, that Bishop Jakes first gained some recognition, which later grew into the Potter's House and national acclaim. Make sure you guys are coming in and hit that like button. What's up, JR? I see you, sir. Thank you for being a member, too. Charlotte Walker's a member, and some other members came in. What's up, Regina? The Juice Radio Talk Show, Regina. We got to get you on here later today, maybe tomorrow. On tonight's love night for everybody. So I'm so glad they put this out now because I got things to do. Dwayne Youngblood gets caught sexually abusing multiple minors. He was counseling at his church and gets caught lying about it repeatedly. Remember, we are at the relevant background. That's where we're at. That's what they put in there. At the same time Bishop Jakes was building a community of the faithful, Youngblood was purporting to do the same. Unfortunately, Youngblood was abusing that position of trust to exploit children. In January 2006, Youngblood was arrested and charged with abusing a 15-year-old boy he was counseling. After 2 years of denial, he pled guilty in March 2008, receiving 1 year of detention and 7 years probation. But Youngblood did not stay out of trouble. In 2014, he was prosecuted again for additional sex crimes against minors, which also violated his probation. During the sentencing for his probation violations, the presiding judge stated that Youngblood was a liar and a scammer who had misled and deceived the courts. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, he's clocking that timeline. That's what he's doing. He had manufactured evidence about his travel plans while on probation and concealed his repeated arrest. During the hearing, Youngblood discussed his own past, but made no mention of having been abused by Bishop Jakes, claiming that all incidents of abuse were before he was 18 years of age. Youngblood was sentenced to a maximum of and served over 9 years in prison. Dwayne Youngblood concocts a plan with the help of others to falsely accuse Bishop Jakes of misconduct. This is C. We're in the background. Hit the like button, everybody. Make sure that you are supporting the platform, all right? Beginning in October 2024, Youngblood and John Doe's 1 through 10 worked together to launch knowingly false and defamatory attacks on Bishop Jakes and accused him of sexually assaulting a teenage Youngblood in a Pittsburgh area home. On October 28th and November 3rd, 2024, Youngblood appeared on the Larry Reid Live YouTube show, where he claimed that when he was a teenager, on or around June 9th, 1986, Bishop Jakes cornered him, prevented him from exiting the room, hugged him, and tried to kiss him without Youngblood's consent. Youngblood added to his false story by claiming that the next day, Bishop Jakes called him and told him that if Youngblood would be his guy, in Pittsburgh who he could have sex with whenever he visited. He would take care of Youngblood for the rest of his life. He then recounted 2 other fictional events to add credibility to his story. That years later, he confronted Bishop Jakes at a hotel while Mrs. Jakes was sleeping in the other room, and Bishop Jakes responded, "My stock was rising, and I would have had sex with anybody at that time." And that, number 2, the other pastor tried to mediate a dispute between Bishop Jakes and Youngblood about the supposed assault. What's up, Courtney? OG Beauty? No, there is no more podcast. They laying it out, Reggie. They laying it out. Those claims are completely fabricated. Bishop Jakes never tried to corner, grab, or kiss any teenagers during his visit to Pittsburgh. And he certainly did not phone Youngblood to proposition him for sex in exchange for financial support. He never apologized for doing so because it didn't happen, as Youngblood very well knows. Oh, I'm trying, J Boogie. And the stories make no sense because, as explained above in 1986, Bishop Jakes was a small-town preacher who could barely support his own family, let alone another person in another whole city. Let me not add no word. Don't add no words, St. James. Read the Bible. Read the claim as it is. You okay? Read it as it is. Hold on. We got to thank you so much, T. Davis, for renewing or joining. However you're doing this, I appreciate you for joining the St. James Show as a valued member. Well, the docs are in, Marcellus. The docs are in. Let's continue. Youngblood's motivations for making up these stories became clear shortly after. On November 9th, just 6 days after the second Larry Reid live interview, Youngblood purchased the rights to DwayneYoungblood.com and created a launching soon placeholder webpage. Oh, he was getting ready to spend that $6 million, baby. On November 15th, Youngblood's lawyer sent Bishop Jakes a letter demanding $6 million and a response by November 23rd, or else they would file a frivolous lawsuit designed to embarrass him. He even claimed that Youngblood may have been 17 years old during the fictional incident. To make it even more salacious, instead of catapulting, Bishop Jakes filed this suit on November 25th. Capitulating. Instead of capitulating, that's what he did. Instead of capitulating, Bishop Jakes filed the suit on November 25th. Yeah. After receiving an extension to respond to the complaint, claiming he needed more time to find counsel, despite having long ago retained Blackburn. But before filing his response, Youngblood launched his business on January 12, 2025. He didn't respond, but he launched his business. You didn't have money to get a lawyer to respond, but you have money to launch your business. I think that's what they're trying to tell the judge. Thank you so much, Bonnie Bell, for putting a color on it and being the first one to help us reach our goal on tonight. According to his website, he offers workshops and one-on-one coaching. We know where that went before, or on how to move on from past trauma. He even hired a publicist to help. The website features the Larry Reid live interviews and a countdown for the release of his new book, I Overcame It to Live My Best Life, which promises to go into sexual abuse and betrayal by prominent spiritual leaders, including Bishop Jakes. set to be released through Amazon on March 3rd, 2025. Okay. And 2 days after filing this instant motion, Youngblood's attorney, Blackbird, appeared on the Larry Reid Live to boast about his motion and attack Bishop Jakes, but not before he provided Reid with a draft version of Youngblood's anti-SLAPP motion, which Reid broadcast. D. Youngblood falsely attacks Bishop Jakes' son with a made-for-litigation claim. On November 3rd, 2024, before Youngblood's second appearance on Larry Reid Live, Bishop Jakes' son, Germaine, sent a message to Youngblood after seeing an ad on social media for the Larry Reid Live appearance. Germaine sent the message to warn Youngblood about getting involved with Larry Reid Live. Whoa! Y'all see what they saying? So they saying that the warning that Germaine sent Youngblood was a warning to don't get involved with Larry Reid, who Germaine knew to be a destructive person. Tellingly, Youngblood responded to Germaine's message that the concern was noted. He didn't show that part, which Youngblood omitted from his filing with this court. He didn't show that part. Oh, let's read it again, saints. Germaine sent the message to warn Youngblood about getting involved with Larry Reid, who Germaine knew to be a destructive person. Tellingly, Youngblood responded to Germaine's message that the concern was noted, which Youngblood omitted from his filing with this court. Oh, God. 2 days after Bishop Jakes filed this lawsuit, Youngblood then filed a complaint with the Pitcairn, PA Police Department against Germaine. 2 days after the complaint, y'all, Youngblood admitted to the intake officer that his attorney wanted the complaint on file. All right, everybody, I appreciate you for watching. Don't just watch, though. You got to make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit the share button and join our membership if you would like. Happy Valentine's Day to all the lovers out there. And if you ain't got one still, happy Valentine's Day to you. Share this live right now on all your social media, and also become a member, just like I think T Davis did. Yeah, just like T Davis did tonight. Become a member, all right? Ooh, I tell you. This is good, y'all. This is good. This is adding a little bit more light to what we got going on here. Yes, it is. Oh, all right. All right. E, we're at E right now. Youngblood enlists convicted felons. Oh, this is good. This got to be good. And family members to submit bogus affidavits. Let's talk about these affidavits. To try and bolster his own lack of credibility, Youngblood enlisted 7 people with no first-hand knowledge of the events at issue, who claimed that Youngblood told them his story at various times since 1990. But each of their claims are flawed, including glaring inaccuracies, contradictions, and omissions. Let's start with affidavit Joshua Munoz. Omitted from his affidavit that he was a convicted child sex abuse crimes. He was convicted of child sex abuse crimes, is a registered sex offender, and that Youngblood was in prison when he allegedly told Munoz about Bishop Jakes over breakfast. Joshua omitted he was a sex offender, a registered sex offender. Let's go to Landon Claiborne. He is also a convicted felon who served 41 months for heroin distribution, but omitted that fact from his affidavit. Let's talk about LaShawn Youngblood's story about her husband telling her about Bishop Jakes a few years before the spring of 2015. Is directly contradicted by her and her husband's prior statement in the court in 2014 and 15. Let's talk about an affidavit for Jeffrey Gray. Did not work for Merrill Lynch in 1992, where he claims Youngblood told him about Bishop Jakes. Oh, God. Let's scoot on over there to Daniel Spaulding's story about Youngblood telling him about Bishop Jakes would have taken place right after Youngblood's arrest and first charges for sexual assaulting a minor he was counseling. Oh, Daniel. Oh, let's talk about Richard Youngblood's entire story. Both his own tale and his brother sharing his are belied by Richard's own history of vindictiveness against Bishop Jakes, including the fact that Richard began plotting against Bishop Jakes in 2008, when Bishop did not speak up for Dwayne at his first criminal sentencing hearing, and that within the last 10 years, Richard has begged for a job and assistance, which Bishop Jakes rejected. Let's read Richard's again. Richard's entire story, both his own tale and his brother's sharing his, are belied by Richard's own history of vindictiveness against Bishop Jakes, including the facts that Richard began plotting against Bishop Jakes in 2008, when Bishop did not speak up for Dwayne at his first criminal sentencing hearing, and that within the last 10 years, Richard begged for a job and assistance, which Bishop Jakes rejected. Oh, it's piping, Bonnie. It's piping. In regards to Youngblood's psychological impact report, do we all remember that? Happy birthday, Jesse. Happy birthday, Jesse. It conspicuously omits whether and when the therapist first met Youngblood. Remember I mentioned that? It wasn't no date. Or when he recounted his story, including whether they were after the filing of this lawsuit, and simply accepts as true Youngblood's false accusations about Bishop Jakes. Yeah, a therapist is just going to accept what you're saying. They wasn't there. They're just going to accept it. Make sure you put your Cash App in the chat, Jesse. You may get a blessing on this Valentine's Day. I think you... I don't remember what it is. I would put it in the chat and I'll pin it. All right. These affidavit testimony must be tested through cross-examination. These issues were all uncovered without the benefit of any discovery and are likely just the tip of the iceberg. There it is. No, I don't think. Oh, that's not it. What did it? Okay. You putting it in there? Okay. Let's go to the argument. Youngblood's motion is both procedurally and substantively flawed because the anti-SLAPP statute does not apply And even if it did, Bishop Jakes readily satisfies its standard. There it is. Is that it? $ little Jesse. I think that's it. Okay. I'll do yours, Jesse. Let me replace the pen. All right. Youngblood's motion does not invoke Federal Rule 12 or discuss the relevant considerations under its standard because he knows he cannot meet it. Instead, he elected to file an anti-SLAPP motion relying on matters outside of the pleadings to contradict the complaint's well-pled factual allegations. The motion relies on Pennsylvania's novel anti-SLAPP law, parts of which went into effect in July 2024. The law contains a substantive section which requires the plaintiff to have a valid claim under various procedural standards, providing an immunity where, number one, the plaintiff fails, i.e. establish a prima facie case as to each essential element, state a cause of action, and there is no genuine issue as to any material fact, and the defendant is entitled to judgment as a matter of law. And a procedural section creates a mechanism for enforcing those rights through the anti-SLAPP motion. Two issues are fatal to defendant's motion. The procedural section has not yet gone into effect. And two, state anti-SLAPP statutes like this one are fundamentally state procedural rules that do not apply in federal court. Because Youngblood cannot file a Pennsylvania anti-SLAPP motion and has not provided any other basis for dismissal, it must be denied. Okay? Hit that like button, everybody. While parts of the new Pennsylvania's anti-SLAPP statute went into effect in July 2024, the provision creating the anti-SLAPP motion and related procedures is not yet in effect. Let's see. 16, okay, shall take effort. Number 16, shall take effort on effect date specified in the notice under Section 3. All right, all that good stuff. Okay, Pennsylvania. In fact, the provision may never become effective because Section 8340.16 is essentially advisory. The Pennsylvania Constitution gives the state Supreme Court exclusive power to establish rules of procedures for state courts, and the legislature is without power to control the procedure. So until the Pennsylvania Supreme Court acts to create anti-SLAPP motions, they do not exist in Pennsylvania. Oh, God. Number 2, Pennsylvania anti-SLAPP would not apply in federal court anyway. But even if Pennsylvania had an applicable law, anti-SLAPP statutes like this one do not apply in federal court under Erie Railroad Company versus Tompkins and the other. There's some case law and some other case laws here. Under those precedents, when there is a valid and applicable federal procedure rule, the supremacy clause requires that it be utilized, notwithstanding a state rule to the contrary. And there is some more case law as well. In this analysis, we must first determine whether a federal rule answers the questions in dispute. If it does, it governs so long as the rule is valid. Okay? That's the case law there. 5 federal circuit courts have held that state anti-SLAPP statutes conflict with the valid federal rules of civil procedure and therefore cannot be applied to the federal form. There's some additional case law. Okay. As these courts have explained in those previous case law, state anti-SLAPP laws answer the same question as federal rules. 8 11, 12, and 56, but require a plaintiff to make a showing that the federal rules do not require. Okay? Thank you so much, Jamie P., for putting the color on it and helping us reach our goal. I appreciate you for being a member and also a regular supporter. All right. In Pennsylvania, Section 8340.15.1, burden of persuasion conflicts with the federal rule. In federal court, it is defendants, not plaintiffs, who bear the burden of demonstrating that their Rule 12b-6 motion to dismiss should be granted. There's some case law. 12b-6 motion, the defendants bear the burden to show that the plaintiff has not stated a claim. But the anti-SLAPP assigns the burden of proof to the party asserting the cause of action based on protected public expression. Okay, thereby abrogating the federal standard. There's the case law there. Sections 8340.6a, D1, and D4 conflict with federal 12d by permitting the court to use a summary judgment procedure to resolve factual disputes as the pleading stage. Case law there, Doe versus Princeton University. The proper place to resolve factual disputes is not a motion to dismiss, but a motion for summary judgment. Oh, okay. They're saying he shouldn't have. He had a motion for summary judgment. Okay, and evidence cannot be used in a motion to dismiss to decide disputed issues of material fact. Thank you so much for putting the color on it over and above what I asked. Thank you so much, Color Me Oakland. Thank you for letting the decency and common sense. Listen, Rain, people don't want you to have decency and common sense around here. They really don't, okay? And sections 8340.15 and 8340.18a together conflict with rules 11 and 12 because they answer the same question regarding awards of attorney's fees. When are defendants entitled to fees based on deficiencies in the pleadings and pre-suit investigation? Under federal rules 11 and 12, the answer is only if plaintiff's claims were frivolous or presented for an improper purpose. Pennsylvania's anti-SLAPP answers that same question differently, but imposing strict liability on an unsuccessful plaintiff. All right? At sections 8340.16e and F 2 also conflict with the federal rules. The former stay all discovery pending resolution of the anti-SLAPP motion unless the party seeking discovery shows that specific information, A, is necessary to establish whether a party has satisfied or failed to satisfy the burden, and B, if not reasonably available unless discovery is allowed. However, federal law entitles the plaintiff to discovery before having the merits of their claims resolved against them. So you can't be asked for dismissal. We ain't had our day in court yet. Factual assertions against the facts pleaded in the complaint would invite courts to consider facts and evidence that have not been tested in formal discovery. In sum, Rules 8, 11, 12, and 56 answer the same question as the anti-SLAPP statute. Accordingly, the Pennsylvania anti-SLAPP cannot apply the federal court unless those federal rules are invalid. There's case law. And every court considering the issue has affirmed their conformance with the rules enabling act and their corresponding validity. Case law. Moreover, while section 8340.15 purport to provide an immunity rather than a procedure that is not dispositive, whether a particular state rule of decision is substantive under Erie is a question of federal law. Okay. let me see this. Because, okay. So they're pretty much everybody. They're just giving us case law in regards to why they feel this anti-SLAPP wouldn't even apply to what they're talking about. B, regardless, this suit is not a SLAPP. It is a meritorious claim. Oh, that's a good one. What's up, Ray? Roslyn? Oh, we got documents. We got documents. Youngblood offers little coherent guidance on what he believes the required anti-SLAPP showing to be, except to falsely claim that the law employs a burden-shifting framework and that once a defendant demonstrates that the action arises from protected expression, the burden shifts to the plaintiff to establish a probability of prevailing on the merits of their claims. But Youngblood misrepresents the standard set by the Pennsylvania legislature. Neither the cited provision nor any other part of the law impose that framework or require that showing. Even assuming that the statute applies, it does not, and that his statements qualify as protected public expression, Bishop Jake's lawsuit meets its requirement by a long shot. Number one, no matter the standard, Bishop Jake's defamation per se claim stands. The Pennsylvania anti-SLAPP statute does not bar viable defamation claims like those arising from Youngblood's lies about Bishop Jakes. A libel is a maliciously written or printed publication which tends to blacken a person's reputation or to expose him to public hatred, contempt, or ridicule, or to injure him in his business or profession. Case law there. Youngblood incorrectly claims that Bishop Jakes has failed to show falsehood, accurate malice, and damages. None of those arguments are availing. A, Youngblood's claims about Bishop Jakes are false. Between the October 28th and November 3rd, 2024 podcast, Youngblood leveled the following false accusations against Bishop Jakes. That when Youngblood was in his late teens, Bishop Jakes cornered him, wrapped his arms around him, and tried to kiss him in a way that Youngblood found threatening and predatory. In other words, sexual assault. Afterwards, Jakes called him and said, There's three things I need you to do. The first one is when I come to Pittsburgh, you're going to be the only person I sleep with. The second one is you can't sleep with anybody else because I don't want to give my wife anything. And thirdly, I will take care of you for the rest of your life. I'll serve him. And that there is so much more to me and Bishop Jakes and my family and Bishop Jakes and this absolute destructive sexual damage. Youngblood's motion does not dispute the gist of his lies, that Bishop Jakes groomed, sexually abused, sexually assaulted, and engaged in predatory conduct of sexual nature. None of this is true. It's a complete fabrication. Did y'all hit that like button? Yeah, put some teapots. You'll get some good tea. Put some teapots in the chat. While Bishop Jakes occasionally traveled from his home in West Virginia to Pittsburgh to preach in the mid-'80s, none of his salient events Youngblood describes occurred. Bishop Jakes never tried to corner, grab, or kiss any teenagers during his trip, and he certainly did not call to proposition him for sex in exchange for financial support. Bishop Jakes' denial satisfy his burden of falsehood, even under the highest possible standard. Case law there. Plaintiff's denial of these charges in her declaration provides a sufficient prima say a fact, prima fact, showing that the accusations are false. And that's the case law they're speaking of. And while Youngblood offers countervailing declaration with glaring omissions, contradictions, and inaccuracies, courts don't weigh credibility at the anti-SLAPP phase. Even under the most robust anti-SLAPP case law there, precluding relief where any genuine issue as to any material fact exists. First thing, do the duty. Second thing, give the booty. Third thing, give you I read you're crazy. All right, okay, we got that. All right. But if the court did weigh credibility, here we go. It should not credit anything Youngblood, a known liar, says. As one judge found during a 2015 probation violation hearing, Youngblood has lied, and he has scammed, and he has conned me from the day he stood in front of me 7 years earlier. That's coming from the judge. I have been misled. I have been deceived. I have been actually lied to by Youngblood. At that same hearing, Youngblood testified about his own history of abuse, but he told the court that he'd been assaulted at the age of 12 in 1979. How old is Youngblood at the age of 12 in 1979? Okay. In a penthouse after he won a singing competition. That incident bears no resemblance to any of the 2024 allegations he made on Larry Reid Live. And he stated that all incidents of abuse were before he was 18 years of age. Despite having an incentive to discuss all abuse, he suffered to explain his own sex crimes and mitigate his sentence. He did not mention Bishop Jakes or any resembling to his new accusations. That is proof that his new accusations are lies, and that he and his affidavits statement, I guess that's the word you can use for affidavits, but affidavits, the statement lacked credibility, in addition to other reasons to doubt them. Youngblood is simply not credible. Thank you so much, Melanie Rice, for putting the color on it. Oh, God. What's up, Leah? What's up, Tashi? Oh, they digging in the crates. That's what they doing. They digging in the crates. Oh, because the earlier stuff was a good dig. They dug out all them affidavits. Now, them affidavit folks, no. Further undermining Youngblood's claim is the reality that the mid-1980s Bishop Jakes wasn't a wealthy, globe-trotting preacher who could support Youngblood for life in exchange for sexual favors, whether he came to Pittsburgh, nor was his stock rising such that he would have had sex with anybody at that time. Rather, throughout the 1980s, Jakes lived in crushing poverty, having only become a full-time preacher in 1982 after losing his job at a chemical plant, which closed. He only began to experience modest success at the absolute earliest in 1992. Far from being able to support Youngblood, in 1986, Bishop Jakes was a humble Rust Belt preacher. Where they get that from? Rust Belt. They've been saying that. Who could barely afford to maintain a storefront church in rural West Virginia. The tales are ex post facto inventions, full of anachronism that reflect Bishop Jakes' post-1993 success, rather than the reality of the mid-1980s. Oh, my goodness. The timing's off, J Boogie. 12 in 1979. I don't, I'm still stuck on that one. Youngblood's claims were made with actual malice. B. The circumstance of this case validity demonstrate that Youngblood knew he was lying about Bishop Jakes, but did so for money, fame, and even revenge. The actual malice inquiry, a creature of the First Amendment, asks whether the defendant published a false statement with knowledge that it was false or with reckless disregard for the truth. Case law there. Although the defendant's state of mind is the focus, plaintiffs will rarely be successful in proving awareness of falsehood from the mouth of the defendant himself, because defamation defendants are prone to assert their good faith belief in the truth of their publications. Case law there. Therefore, courts are guided to circumstantial evidence. Actions, we try to understand their motives. Case law there. In this inquiry, all the relevant circumstances surrounding the transactions may be shown. Case law there. And while no single piece of evidence will support a verdict, that does not mean that together all evidence may not be clear and convincing. Pieces to a jigsaw puzzle sometimes appear nothing more than scattered fragments. But when placed together in proper fashion, they create a clear picture. Case law there. Here, the evidence of malice paints a compelling picture. In August of 2024, Youngblood completed a 9-year prison sentence and needed to build a new life. To that end, Youngblood initiated a plan to transform himself from a sex offender into an inspiration, even enlisting a publicist to help. By October, he joined forces with wannabe spiritual leader Larry Reid. Timothy is in here. What's up, Timothy Blaine? Can I read that again? If y'all want me to read that again, just say read, reader. Somebody put read. R-E-A-D. Oh, God. To that end, Youngblood. Hold on, let me move this over a little bit. Can't see that. Okay. To that end, Youngblood initiated a plan to transform himself from a sex offender into an inspiration, even enlisting a publicist to help. By October, he joined forces with wannabe spiritual leader Larry Reid, who regularly books guests to attack Bishop Jakes on Larry Reid Live. Working with Reid, Youngblood told his new story that Bishop Jakes played a part in his abuse. The story was a gold mine for Youngblood, allowing him to appear on Reid's show, garnering attention for his business, and recasting him as the victim, rather than the minors he abused during counseling sessions. Case law there. This is court correctly considered newspapers' profit motive in actual malice analysis. And just a few weeks later, he dispatched a lawyer to demand $6 million from Bishop Jakes, or else he would sue for unspecified tort claims arising from the tale. Excuse me, y'all, did they say wannabe spiritual leader? I was just making sure I heard right. Oh, God. Why would y'all do Larry like that? Youngblood fabrications also furthered his brother Richard's vendetta against Bishop Jakes. which began in 2008, shortly after Dwayne Youngblood pled guilty to child molestation. According to an acquaintance of Richard's, Richard mentioned that Jakes has known his family so long that a man of his caliber could have easily spoken up in defense of Dwayne and maybe aided for his case. He wanted Bishop to know how it felt to be falsely accused of the same thing his brother was. Richard was determined to get retribution for his family and the pain of such allegations has caused him. Oh, God. Case law there. After Dwayne's guilty plea, Richard made his accusations. After Dwayne's guilty plea, they said Richard made his accusations against Bishop Jakes. To effectuate those goals, Youngblood fabricated a story about Bishop Jakes that sounded compelling but was false. Because Youngblood claims to have personally witnessed conduct that never occurred. The lies about Jakes were necessarily made with actual malice. See the case law? If a defendant knew that the events were false and nonetheless wrote the detailed narrative describing exactly how plaintiff sexually assaulted her when it actually never occurred, it is oxymonic. I don't know that word. That's a good one, though. That she wrote the narrative with malice, with actual malice of knowledge, knowing that it was false. That was that case law there. Okay. Plaintiff's evidence is believed established that he did not sexually assault defendant following the Black Street Boys concert in 2001, such that her statements describing such an incident would perforce be made with knowledge of their falsity. So that's just case law, where they're talking about some different cases where there was some malice created in those cases. In reply, Youngblood may suggest that a he said type dispute is insufficient evidence to show actual malice, but he would be wrong. This case is not a defamation case against a publisher or a journalist investigating events about third parties. Rather, the complaint here alleges that the defendant knew the post was false when he published it because the events recounted never took place, which suffices to show malice. There's some case law there. He ain't never showed us no proof, y'all, that these things did take place. He's never come out and gave us any proof. We all have to admit that. Affidavits went down the drain, I think. Accordingly, given Youngblood's substantial motive to make up stories about Bishop Jakes and his total fabrication of the events described, plaintiff can readily shoulder his burden. C. Bishop Jakes has made the required damages showing in this defamation per se case. Because Bishop Jakes has made a showing of actual malice and brought a claim for defamation per se, no additional showing of damages is required. As in other states, Pennsylvania considers an accusation to be defamatory per se when it is obviously defamatory, such as when it imputes criminal offense, loathsome disease, business misconduct, or serious sexual misconduct. And there is the case law. This includes accusations of sexual abuse like those leveled at Bishop Jakes. Such accusations obviously harm the accused, so damages are presumed. obviating the new, listen, you read so much, everything starts running together. The need to prove them as an element to the claim. There's a case law there. Presumed damages are those that are expected to result from defamation. They require no proof, but instead as reflected in their name as presumed. The case Youngblood cites does not abrogate this doctrine. Rather, under Joseph, when private figures, plaintiffs establish liable based on negligence, recovery is restricted to compensation for actual injuries, thus eliminating the specters of presumed and punitive damages in this regard. They're trying to shoot down this anti-SLAPP and getting damages and all that. Okay, there is some more case law there. Okay, presumed damages. They go to number 2, the conspiracy claims without scrutiny 2. Okay, let's talk about the conspiracy. Oh, God. Civil conspiracy is a derivative claim that requires an actionable tort. There's the case law there. For this reason above, Bishop Jakes clearly established a defamation per se claim. Thus, the question becomes whether a conspiracy took place to commit defamation. A civil conspiracy, a civil conspiracy requires, number 1, a combination of 2 or more persons acting with a common purpose to do an unlawful act or to do a lawful act by unlawful means for an unlawful purpose. Excuse me. Number 2, an overt act done in pursuance of the common purpose. Number 3, actual legal damage. There's the case law there. Bishop Jakes easily meets this standard. First, Youngblood and at least the YouTuber acted jointly to develop and launch the October 28th show that specifically aimed a public attack on Bishop Jakes that falsely claimed he tried to groom and sexually abuse Youngblood. Second, the YouTuber, in joint action with Youngblood, buttressed the false claims by stating that Bishop Jakes had fixers. We all heard that, right? Called to stop Larry Reid Live from airing more episodes about Youngblood's story, and that those efforts validated Youngblood's claims. Okay? This is key because the YouTuber was no mere interviewer. He added to the fabric of the story above and beyond what Youngblood himself described. By adopting the statements, the YouTuber demonstrated an overt act to further the common plan, an attempt to give more truth to Youngblood's false claim. Third, the YouTuber and Youngblood acted in concert to further the common purpose by launching the second show. The November 3rd show speaks for itself. The sole purpose of it was to build on and refine the false claims from the October 28th show and ensure injury to Bishop Jakes. In particular, Youngblood attempted to more clearly target the false claim of sexual assault by stating that the plaintiff restrained him and forcibly kissed him, as opposed to the initial claim that they embraced at the end of an hours-long, wide-ranging conversation about faith and life and parents. Further, the YouTuber specifically asked questions to elicit the particular information from Youngblood about the assault, and then proceeds to summarize and repeat those facts in order to guarantee the audience understands Youngblood's sexual assault accusations as such, and that Bishop Jakes is therefore responsible for Youngblood himself becoming an abuser. Finally, the primary objective for the scheme that Todd set up, I just threw that in. The primary objective for the scheme was to get money from Bishop Jakes and to harm his reputation. The YouTuber was fully aware of Youngblood's demand letter and admitted as much on an episode of his show that aired the very night the complaint in this case was filed, November 25th, 2024, as evidence in the record of this case show. Sometimes we just got shut up. C, public policy does not favor letting fraudsters lie and exploit others. Youngblood claims that the court should dismiss this lawsuit on public policy alone, which is not allowed. See the case there. Even when compelling public policies exist, federal courts have a virtual unflagging obligation to exercise the jurisdiction given. And while courts protect legitimate victims, they also acknowledge the potential for false accusations of sexual abuse and the right that someone who is falsely accused has to recover for the harm thereby caused, which can be devastating. Those countervailing interests overcome any invoked by Youngblood. D, defendant's request for permission to join additional claims. Remember that? The closing request for leave to file a cross complaint against Bishop Jakes and his son, Germaine. Oh, we got to go revisit that Germaine thing. He took away the part where he said noted, and that was Jake's teams are saying that was directed to Larry Reid. Germaine was telling Youngblood to watch out for Larry Reid because he's destructive. And then Youngblood, they say he respond by saying noted, as in got you. I understand. I get what you're saying. But he omitted that in his filing. Oh, Blackburn. Did you investigate that, Blackburn? Oh, Blackburn. Oh, Blackburn. Youngblood cannot. Hold on, yeah, before I go there. Thank you so much, Londa, for putting the color on it. I appreciate your support, as always. Youngblood cannot bring a cross claim against anyone other than the Does because a cross claim is one brought against a co-party. 27A, Tracy, that's the case law there. Cross claims are to be asserted against parties having like status, such as co-defendant. So he would have to, if they name Larry as a co-defendant, he gonna have to sue Larry. That's what they said. He gonna have to sue Larry. He can't sue. You can't see here. While the federal rules allow for counterclaims sometimes, Youngblood's description of events allege no conduct by Bishop Jakes, only his son. Okay? That's because Bishop Jakes had nothing to do with it. And Youngblood has no basis to say he did. And counterclaims are subject to Rule 11 and Rule 12's requirement, just like other pleadings. Moreover, Youngblood cannot counterclaim against Bishop Jakes' son, who is a non-party. Could somebody type non-party? Why you even need to put that in your response? Because you can go sue Germaine anytime you good and got darn ready. He's not a party in this lawsuit. Okay? Because Rule 13 does not authorize assertions of counterclaims against strangers to the litigation. There's the case law. Moreover, there is no personal jurisdiction over Germaine Jakes because as a Texas resident who sent a single social media message, he lacks the requisite connection to Pennsylvania. The case law there, our Court of Appeals has concluded time and again that emails, similar electronic communication, even if initiated by the defendant and directed to the plaintiff in the form state, are not enough for personal jurisdiction. So, any effort to add him would be frivolous. Indeed, defense counsel has been admonished for making frivolous jurisdictional claims in the past. Blackburn, they said you've been admonished in the past for making frivolous jurisdictional claims. Finally, we're finally there, y'all. We're finally there. To the extent some procedures exist by which Youngblood could assert his proposed claims, he cannot request the court's permission in his motion to dismiss, which cites no conceivable source of authority for the request, nor any analysis of the factors to be considered. The motion must state with particularly the grounds for seeking the order and state the relief sought. In conclusion, accordingly, the defendant's anti-SLAPP motion should be denied. This day of Valentine's Day, February 14, 2025. There is a lot of exhibits. Let's see here. What is this one? This one. Okay, that's just a affidavit. Okay. Low level. Here we go. Oh, hold on. Let's read this. Hold on. Sit down, y'all. Sit down. Thomas Dexter Yates, being duly sworn, states as follows. I am Thomas Dexter Yates, the plaintiff in the above referenced action, and I live in Dallas, Texas. I have reviewed the affidavits of Dwayne Youngblood and Richard Youngblood submitted in support of the motion to dismiss. The statements in these affidavits purport to describe situations where I harbored carnal desires for these men. These statements are knowingly and flagrantly false. I am repulsed by these defamatory accusations and the $6 million extortion letter I received from Dwayne Youngblood's attorney, Tyrone Blackburn. For years, I have counseled to ignore the constant streams of low-level smears against my reputation. However, the emotional and physical toll of this coordinated campaign of lies designed to damage my reputation and legacy has become overwhelming. The pain it has caused my wife of 43 years and my 5 children whom I have always loved, nurtured, and provided for is simply too much to bear. Every person has a breaking point. I have reached mine. I authorized this lawsuit because I can no longer remain silent. My calling to preach the gospel began at a young age. In 1980, I founded Greater Emmanuel Temple of Faith, a small storefront church in Smithers, West Virginia, attached here to that's the exhibit. With a congregation of just 10 people, I traveled to coal mining towns throughout the state, spreading the gospel. This was a true testament to humble beginnings. In 1982, and this is Bishop Jake speaking, everybody. In 1982, I married my wife, Sarita. I embraced her 2 children from a previous relationship as my own. Tragically, just 6 months into our marriage, a near fatal car accident left Sarita with debilitating injuries. I know the word. Confining her to a wheelchair for nearly a year. That same year, I lost my job at Union Carb Chemical Plant due to its closure, further compounding our already difficult financial situation. To feed my children, I worked nights digging ditches for gas lines with my brother. But even this arduous labor was often insufficient. It is written this context, the reality of my life in 1986, that Dwayne Youngblood makes his preposterous claims nearly 40 years later on the Larry Reid Live podcast. Well, Jake's finally said your name, Larry. That I promised him lifelong financial support in exchange for sex whenever I visited Pittsburgh. This assertion is not only ludicrous, it is a bald-faced lie. To be clear, while I occasionally traveled to Pennsylvania around 1986 to preach to area churches that were part of the Greater Emmanuel International Fellowship Network, I never tried to corner, grab, or kiss any teenagers. I never phoned Dwayne Youngblood to proposition him for sex in exchange for financial support. Okay. Hold on. I just want to check something. Okay. And I never groomed, sexually abused, sexually assaulted, and engaged in predatory conduct of a sexual nature towards Dwayne Youngblood. I never apologized to Youngblood for any such conduct because it did not happen. During that period, I was barely keeping my own family out of poverty. I was not the Bishop T.D. Jakes of today. I was a pastor with no substantial following and no financial resources. My home was a small wood frame structure. There were no signs of prosperity. My life was consumed with providing for my family, often amidst severe hardship. There were numerous nights when my wife and children returned to a home without water or electricity. I often shared the story of how I turned the shame of utility shutoffs into a game with my 2 oldest sons, then just 5 and 6 years old, seeing who could reach their rooms without stubbing their toes in the dark. My circumstances began to improve in 1992. I managed to scrape together enough money to travel to Tulsa, Oklahoma for the Azusa 92 Evangelical Conference. Initially, I was largely ignored. However, my fate changed on the second day when I was introduced to prominent evangelist Carlton Pearson by Sarah Jordan Powell. We all love the sounds of Sarah Jordan Powell. His support led to a speaking engagement at the following year's conference, Azusa 93. Is that why Larry's so mad? There, My sermon, Woman, Thou Art Loosed, resonated powerfully with attendees and launched me into national prominence. Before this pivotal moment, my ministry was a modest local calling. Today, I have diversified my income streams as an author, filmmaker, real estate developer, and more. However, during the time period referenced by Dwayne Youngblood, I had none of this. In my 68 years, my only involvement with the justice system has been primarily through the Texas Offenders Reentry Initiative, a faith-based program that helps formerly incarcerated individuals re-enter society. Y'all know what that means. Through TORI, we have assisted over 40,000 individuals in rebuilding their lives for providing support in employment, education, housing, healthcare, spiritual guidance, and family reunification. I now find myself defending my character and integrity against 2 convicted felons, acting at the behest of an overzealous blogger attempting to extort $6 million from me. Let's read number 12 one more time. Thank you so much, Dana Dane. Happy Love Day to you, and thank you for supporting the platform. I now find myself defending my character and integrity against 2 convicted felons, acting to the behest of an overzealous blogger attempting to extort $6 million from me. Dwayne Youngblood claims to have confronted me about the alleged attempted kiss. Yet I had never heard a whisper of this supposed incident until his appearance on the Larry Reid live podcast. Although Dwayne blames the conjured up incident as an excuse for his absorbent behavior, it is my understanding that he never brought any of this up as a defense in either trial that resulted in him spending half of his life in prison. I nor anyone he now maligning was brought up in either trial. Make this make sense. If this event truly occurred and was as traumatic as he claims, why has it never surfaced in any of Dwayne's own molestation cases, where such a detailed would have been paramount to his defense? Come on, Jakes. It is with deep sadness that I find myself responding to these egregious and defamatory claims. My willingness to address them does not diminish the need for justice. Thank you so much, Uncle Paul, for putting the color on it. I appreciate your support, as always, sir. My willingness to address them does not diminish the need for justice. I am one of many who have been targeted by these malicious individuals. My commitment extends beyond defending myself. It includes exposing these individuals and their tactics, which often prey on those who lack the resources to defend themselves against such calculated attacks disguised as truth-telling. Oh, he's on the warpath. I must add, the inconsistencies in Dwayne Youngblood's narrative are too numerous to address comprehensively. His story changes with every telling. Initially, he claimed I tried to kiss him. In a separate interview, he stated I blocked him from leaving, which is completely out of character for me. His latest claim is that he was driving me home after a birthday party. Dwayne Youngblood has also implicated 2 other pastors, accusing one of groping him during a massage. Yet he has made no demands against that individual. He accuses me of merely trying to hug and kiss him. Talk, Bishop! Yet seeks to extract $6 million. Why this discrepancy? If I am as reprehensible as he portrays me, why did he join the organization where I served as vice bishop, leave, and then subsequently rejoin? Regarding Richard Youngblood's claim, while I frequently traveled to Pittsburgh during that period, Richard and I, as 2 adult men, were perfectly capable of making the 4-hour trip from Charleston, West Virginia, without requiring an overnight stay at a motel. I categorically deny ever getting into bed naked and propositioning Richard. Bishop said he wasn't butt naked in the bed humping you. Furthermore, if he genuinely believed me to be a threat, why did he later approach me approximately 10 years ago in Nashville, Tennessee at a TBN event about a job at the Potter's house? His story surfaced only after I declined to hire him due to his lack of qualifications. Richard has a history of instability. He hasn't been able to maintain a job. He has multiple children with different women and a felony conviction for failure to pay child support. It's difficult to respect a man who doesn't take care of his children. Oh, Richard, in all my years, I have never initiated a lawsuit against anyone. We filed this lawsuit against individuals who were supposed to be men of God, but are clearly not. The catalyst for this action was not simply the nature of the accusations, but the relentless attacks by the overzealous blogger. I have faced many attacks in my life, but none like this. Even so, I feel compelled to stand up against these bullies. This is a carefully orchestrated attempt to destroy me. An overzealous blogger publicly solicited individuals to make accusations against me, not for victims to come forward, but for anyone willing to fabricate stories. He explicitly stated his strategy in one of his podcasts before his interviews with Dwayne Youngblood. The claim doesn't have to be true. It just needs to be filed. Once it's filed, I can talk about it on my show. Richard and Dwayne Youngblood responded to this call. Oh, God. They are working in concert, relentlessly targeting me and my family with vicious, unfounded attacks. I spent the past year enduring their vicious attacks, lies, rumors of my wife leaving me, rumors of my church abandoning me, and much more. All of this was happening while I found myself helping my wife recover from knee replacement surgery and while helping my brother navigate kidney failure. This unwarranted stress brought me to a place of having a health crisis on stage in front of my entire congregation. As a guy who had no previous health challenges, this near-death experience was a turning point for me. Enough is enough. Somebody type in the chat, enough is enough. Come on, type it. Enough is enough. I suspect a larger network is involved in this scheme. All anticipating a share of this attempted money grab. Dwayne's ambition and confidence in extorting $6 million from me are evident in his preemptive actions. Establishing a website, commissioning artwork, hiring a publicist, and announcing the launch date for not one, but two books, a tell-all about me and another entitled How to Get Rich. Oh, God. Oh, it's not looking good, Wayne. All of this was in motion before I even received the $6 million extortion letter from Blackburn. Blackburn has stated that he is not being paid by Dwayne. If this is true, the question must be asked. Ask the question, Bishop. Who is funding Blackburn's efforts? The only logical explanation is that he fully expected me to succumb to the pressure of his false accusations and pay him $6 million to remain silent. Finally, Dwayne and the overzealous blogger had already publicized this fabricated story. Why would I pay them not to tell? Something they had already broadcast to the world. This tactic aligns with Tyrone Blackburn's established pattern of behavior. This entire smear campaign began shortly after the public announcement of a commitment from Wells Fargo of up to $1 billion for community redevelopment. This initiative is designed to provide quality, affordable, and workforce housing, broadband access for children lacking adequate internet service, fresh grocery options in food deserts, job creation and training, and comprehensive support services for undeserved and undercapitalized communities. This partnership was never intended for personal gain. It is a statement, it is a testament to my commitment to giving back to the community that has supported me for decades. In summary, I have no ulterior motive. I desire peace, accountability, and an end to this harassment. I pray for expeditious resolution to this matter, one that respects the integrity of the federal court process and allows me to continue the work that is most dear to my heart. Investing in the lives of those most in need. My deepest concern is that others will be victimized by their vicious collaborative tactics. Unless the law intervenes, this pattern of abuse will continue. And that was the affidavit of the Right Reverend Bishop Thomas Dexter Jakes. Let's look at some of these exhibits. Okay, that's his signature. That's his signature. Mm-hmm. I think they showed some pictures. I think there's pictures here. And this, let's read Germaine Jakes, his son's affidavit. But before we do that, listen, everybody, we have what? We have 6. Can we get 4 more? Let's do 10. Let's do 10. Do a goal of 10. So we need 4 more super chats, 5 or more. Listen, that was good, Bishop. That was good. That was good. 6 million. 6 million. That was good. Hey, everybody, make sure. I appreciate you watching. We got a little bit more to go. There's more affidavits. Let's talk about Germaine Jakes, his son. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button right now for me. Do share. Become a member. Link is in the chat. They're putting in the chat. And if you'd like to support the platform, by all means, this is your ways of support right here. We have $ the St. James Show, or just $ St. James Show for your Cash App. And if you want to do Zelle or PayPal, there it is, the St. James Show at att.net. And there is your deal for Venmo as well. Support the program. These documents do cost. Ooh, when that Pacer thing hit my account, hit the business account, I said, Lord Jesus, oh Lord, I didn't know we was doing that much over here at Pacer. So these documents do cost, all right? So make sure that you guys are in support of the show so we can continue giving you great, content and keeping you abreast on what is going on in these carnal church sector streets. Let's get back into this. This is the affidavit of Bishop Jakes' son, Germaine Jakes. Germaine Jakes, being duly sworn, states as follows. T.D. Jakes is my father. I am his second eldest child. I live in Dallas, Texas. I write this affidavit in support of my father's lawsuit against Dwayne Youngblood and those with whom Dwayne coordinated to smear my father in the podcast titled October 28, 2024, Larry Reid Live interviews Dwayne Youngblood. The abused become the abuser. And 11/3/24, part 2. Larry Reid Live interviews Dwayne Youngblood. The abused became the abuser. On the afternoon of November 3rd, I was looking on my social media feed and noticed an advertisement promoted by Larry Reid Live show podcast for an interview with Dwayne Youngblood labeled "The Abused Becomes the Abuser." I was immediately concerned that Dwayne Youngblood might be putting himself in harm's way unwillingly by involving himself with Larry Reid. Based on my personal experience, Larry Reid's podcast creates controversy that can be very destructive to people's lives. Certainly, such has been my experience with Reid's podcast targeting and attacking my father over a period of years. He said he loves your father, Germaine. That is the context in which on November 3rd, 2024, I sent a message to Dwayne Youngblood. It was a cautionary warning to someone I know, Dwayne, to avoid Larry, because my experience is that Larry Reid distorts facts and is not truthful. Thank you so much for your support, Tangela. I appreciate the $20 super sticker. You also, Giselle, right? As always, I appreciate your support as well. I had not talked or seen Dwayne in over 30 years. However, I know Dwayne from growing up in West Virginia. Our families were part of the same church community, and Dwayne's brother, Richard Youngblood, was my youth minister. When I sent the message to Dwayne, I had not seen the podcast, so I did not know what had been stated or that my father was the focus of the discussion. There was no reason for me to say anything that I intended or meant to be threatening. Dwayne responded to my message practically, immediately stating that he received the message and it was noted. They didn't show that part, everybody. They did not show that part. And that he signed at the penalty of perjury. Do we have, let's see what other affidavits we have. Dustin A. Pusch in support of plaintiff's opposition to special motion to dismiss pursuant to Pennsylvania's anti-SLAPP law. Dustin Andrew Pusch, being duly states the following. I am a United States citizen over the age of 18, sound mind, and make the declaration based on my personal knowledge and review publicly available information. I am admitted to practice in the court per hoc vice, as I am a member in good standing, blah, blah, blah. Okay, we got that. Okay. All right. I'm a partner. He's a partner in the Meir Watkins Phillips Pusch LLP group. Defendant Dwayne Youngblood's criminal history. Oh, y'all wanted affidavits? They brought y'all some affidavits. Y'all had some? They got some. But theirs may be a little bit more reputable than yours. Defendant Dwayne Youngblood's criminal history. Dustin Andrew wants to talk about it. Pushes. I reviewed publicly available documents related to defense Dwayne Youngblood's criminal history, including his criminal case file from the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, Allegheny County. The hearing transcript from his 2015 sentencing hearing and 2015 probation violation hearing, his parole locator report, the Megan's Law public report regarding his sex offender registration history, and the 2024 Pennsylvania Correctional Industries Inmate Apparel PowerPoint. On January 30th, 2016, defendant Youngblood was arrested and charged with sexual assault for engaging in sexual intercourse or deviant sexual intercourse with John Doe, a male under the age of 16, without his or her consent. Pursuant to Pennsylvania's Code 3124.1, the charge stemmed from defendant Youngblood sexually assaulting a 15-year-old boy in the fall of 2002 while he was counseling a boy from his church, Higher Call World Outreach. On March 3rd, 2008, after pleading guilty to the charges, defendant Youngblood was sentenced to 1 year of confinement and 7 years probation. He was also required to register as a sexual offender for life. On July 12th, 2014, defendant Youngblood was arrested again and charged with the corruption of minors, among other crimes associated with the sexual abuse of a minor. The charges stemmed from defendant Youngblood's abuse in 2011 of yet another minor he was counseling at his church. After initially pleading not guilty and denying guilt for months, he finally admitted guilt and pled guilty to the charge in December 2014. On March 10th, 2015, Dwayne Youngblood was sentenced to 16 to 48 months incarceration. On June 8th, 2015, defendant Youngblood appeared for his probation violation hearing before the Honorable David Cashman, judge of the Allegheny County Court of Common Pleas. During that hearing, defendant Youngblood made no mention of having been abused by Bishop Jakes 29 years earlier when he was 19 years old, or even mentioned Bishop Jakes at all. You see now why he talking? When he brought up his claims of past abuse by others before he was 18 years of age, it was before he was 18 years of age, he swore to the court that he had been keeping this stuff buried and a secret from anybody who could have done anything to help him. Had not shared what he was going through my own self. And with regard specifically to his wife and then 26 years, he was not able to share with her openly what was going on down on the lower level of his heart. At this time, at the same hearing, defendant Youngblood's victim's mother called him a serial child molester who denied everything until trial. Ultimately, Judge Cashman sentenced 54 to 108 months to run consecutively to his early sentencing of 16 to 48 months for the corruption of minors charge. In levying that sentence, Judge Cashman called defendant Youngblood a scammer who had misled and deceived the court. It is my understanding, based on the review of publicly available documents about defendant Youngblood, that he thereafter was in prison for most, if not all, of the subsequent 9 years following 2015 conviction. According to the Pennsylvania Parole Board parolee locator system, defendant Youngblood was released from prison on August 13th, 2024. And remember, he was on Larry's in October. Released in August on Larry Reid live show in October. Moreover, according to the public record for Dwayne Youngblood on Pennsylvania State Police Megan Law website, which makes information about registered sex offenders available to the public, defendant Youngblood was wearing inmate apparel in photos dated 2/18/2021, and I believe they're exhibits. Here we go. This is Waney. This is old Waney. Since they like to, they want pictures. They, remember pictures of him singing. They like pictures. According to defendant Youngblood, his false accusations of sexual assault against Bishop Jakes occurred on or around June 9, 1986. On October 28, 2024, and November 3rd, 2024, defendant Youngblood appeared on 2 separate episodes of the YouTube show Larry Reid Live, during which he made his false accusations about Bishop Jakes. In his October 28, 2024 appearance on the Larry Reid Live YouTube show, defendant Youngblood states that the alleged incident with Bishop Jakes took place on or around Bishop Jakes' birthday, which is June 9th. According to defendant Youngblood's own statements to the police report, as memorialized in the police report from the complaint he filed, the alleged incident took place when he was 19 years old. Pay attention, everybody. I think we're going somewhere. Therefore, because defendant Youngblood was born on December 29th, 1966, the date of the alleged incident could only be on or around June 9th, 1986. Are mathematicians in the chat? Let me see. Hold on. Okay. Born on 19. Let's see. Born. Let's see. 19. Carry the 1. And let me do. Add 2. Well. Okay. All right. Defendant Youngblood's business ventures capitalizing on his Larry Reid Live interviews and false accusations about Bishop Jakes. On November 9th, 2024, 6 days after his second appearance on Larry Reid Live, on which he falsely accused Bishop Jakes of sexual assault and other defamatory claims, defendant Youngblood, or someone on his behalf, purchased the rights to the internet domain name DwayneYoungblood.com on GoDaddy. The same day, defendant Youngblood procured the rights to DwayneYoungblood.com, the website included a graphic that his website was launching soon. He wasn't even working. He said he was working part-time. He had money to do all this. Where he get the money from, y'all? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think that's where they was trying to go, Regina. They was trying to get them dates together. His dates is off. On January 12th, 2025, just over 2 months after procuring the rights to DwayneYoungblood.com, and just a few weeks after asking the court for and receiving an extension to respond to Bishop Jake's complaint, defendant Youngblood formally launched his website and new business venture. Ooh, Wayne. Facebook posts. They put your Facebook posts on here. There's your Defendant Youngblood's new business offers numerous services and products to would-be customers, including public speaking offerings, workshops, one-on-one coaching, and other online resources. Okay, we need at least 300 likes, y'all. Come on, hit that like button for me. Oh, I tell you. Defendant Youngblood's business website includes a specific interview section, which when launched included links and embedded thumbnails of the 2 Larry Reid live video podcast interviews he gave on October 28, 2024 and November 3rd, 2024. Well, look at here. Life-changing interview with Dwayne Youngblood. Oh, y'all wanted to be famous. You're famous now. Defendant Youngblood's business website provides visitors with the name, number, and email of his publicist. Nigga got a publicist. What you say? Thank you so much, Truth Seeker. Appreciate your support. Thank you, and thank you. How much time we have left on our goal? Oh, it ended, but y'all can still give. Thank you so much. There's his. Let me look up Lucretia. Let me look her up. Girl, you famous now, Lucretia. Let me look up Larica. Where you at, Larica? Larica Marshall. Where you at? Oh, there she is, Larica Marshall. Personal publisher. She has 847 followers. She's a celebrity. Hold on. She's a celebrity publicist. No, she don't have a website. She just has Marshall P Services at gmail.com. Oh, since we're here, we might as well praise them. Since we're here, hold please. Hold on. Let's let that affidavit hold for a minute. Let's make people famous. What you're famous for, do what you are famous for. Oh Lord. Hold on, y'all. Hit that like button while I'm bringing up the publicist. Y'all want to see the publicist? Let's see the publicist. Let's see Dwayne Youngblood's publicist. Just as she is. What highlights you got, baby? Okay. All right. Natural hair. She said hashtag natural hair. Lucretia the Larica the publicist. Hashtag Larica the publicist. Mm-hmm. Mm. Oh, she's also a caterer. She's the owner of she can cater. She can do your hair. She can cater. She can put on your lashes. She's probably a esthetician. She probably got a lot of things. She can do your corporate events, your birthday parties, your weddings, and your baby showers. And she might hit that pole. I'm just saying. She might hit that pole. She right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. New business alert. New business alert. Hmm. Hmm. Mm-hmm. One Way Productions. I would have given a special. Okay, that's somebody else. Okay. Okay. Oh. All right. All right. This is his publicist, everybody. She has 848 followers on Instagram. Can we get a big picture? That don't pop up. It says she's a celebrity publicist, speaker, author, and there's her email address. It's at a Gmail now. There's no portfolio. There's nothing. There's nothing. There's nothing. There's nothing. This is Dwayne Youngblood's publicist, everybody. Now, Jakes, I know y'all put that in there, but he ain't paid her nothing. He ain't paid her. He ain't paid her a thing. I can't believe he done paid her anything to be the publicist. She got in what she fit in. Okay, she doing it for clout. That's about all. About all. He ain't paid her no money. We can't use that. Now he was getting ready. He was getting ready to spend that $6 million. Bless her heart. And the fitting Youngblood's bid includes a countdown graphic for a forthcoming release of his book. I overcame it to live my best life. To spend that $6 million. I heard that, Wayne. He gonna tell y'all how to overcome it and spend that $6 million. Playing with y'all. Which is to be released on March 3rd, 2025, with a buy book link that redirects visitors to Dwayne Youngblood's Amazon page. Y'all want it? Y'all want the books? Where the book will be presumably be available for purchase. The Temu publicist. Oh God. Woo. Oh Jesus. Who is that? Okay, that's somebody. Spam. Nobody wants your book. The preview of the book cover embedded in his business website includes a description of the book, in which Youngblood promises to go into the sexual abuse and betrayal by prominent spiritual leaders, Bishop Quandra Wilson, Bishop T.D. Jakes, and Bishop Sherman Watkins. That's what he says. See, oh my goodness. And you think he not going to sue you? Ooh, and nobody asked for no receipts, huh? They just aired you. Did nobody ask for no receipts? They just said, come on and tell your story. Did nobody ask you for nothing, Wayne? He's shopping like a millionaire, Irene. On January 24th, 2025, the day after the filing, the instant motion, Youngblood's attorney, Tyrone Blackburn, appeared as a special guest on Larry Reid Live. No, he didn't know he was going to come on. They didn't know. No, that was impromptu, attorney, during which he boasted about his client's motion and further attacked Bishop Jakes. That he did. That you did, Blackburn. That you did. There it is right there. Blackburn speaks, Bishop T.D. Jakes versus Dwayne Youngblood's filings. Notably, starting at the 1 hour, 16 minute, 36 second mark of the video, and after Blackburn's interview ended, Mr. Reid went through a copy of Youngblood's motions he had, which by all appearances was not the as-filed version, but rather a draft version of the motion. No, it was an impromptu interview, so he couldn't have these documents before. Defendant Dwayne Youngblood's affidavits. Let's talk about Joshua D. Munoz again. Defendant Youngblood affidavit Joshua Munoz is a convicted felon and registered sex offender who pled guilty to and served over 4 years for criminal sexual offenses, including attempted involuntary deviant sexual intercourse. And he's on the Megan's Law as well. Specifically, Mr. Munoz was arrested when he was 23 years old after traveling to Pittsburgh to allegedly have sex with a 14-year-old girl. And I'm using a lot of words YouTube doesn't like, so please, this probably won't be monetized. So $ the St. James Show mods, put it in the chat because this probably won't be monetized, all right? Or $ St. James Show. Okay, let me go back. Specifically, Mr. Monroe was arrested when he was 23 years old after traveling to Pittsburgh, allegedly to have sex with a 14-year-old girl. Mr. Munoz served over 4 years in prison in Pennsylvania before his 2019 release. Mr. Munoz omitted these facts from his affidavit. Moreover, at the time, Mr. Munoz claims in his affidavit that defendant Youngblood told him about his accusations against Bishop Jakes over breakfast in July of 2023. Defendant Youngblood appears to have been incarcerated. Oh, that one's debunked. Let's talk about Landon Claiborne and his affidavit. Defendant Youngblood Landon Claiborne is a convicted felon who pled guilty to and was sentenced to 41 months for drug-related crimes involving heroin. These facts were omitted from his affidavit. See, that's the thing about it. They're talking about character. These are character witnesses. These are people of character that the court should consider their word in these affidavits. That's what all this is about. Defendant Youngblood's wife. Let's talk about the wife, LaShawn Youngblood. In her affidavit for her husband, LaShawn Youngblood claims that a few years before the spring of 2015, Youngblood told her about his accusations against Bishop Jakes. However, on September 7th, 2014, Mrs. Youngblood wrote and submitted to the court overseeing her husband's criminal case at the time a letter of support for her husband, noting that it was her hope that he be allowed to come home instead of being incarcerated. The letter was submitted before defendant Youngblood admitted he was guilty of sexual abuse crime he was later convicted of. In that letter, Mrs. Youngblood did not mention that her husband had himself been assaulted or abused by Bishop Jakes, or even mention Bishop Jakes at all, despite the fact that Bishop Jakes was by then a world-renowned spiritual leader. Additionally, her own husband, on June 8, 2015, parole violation hearing, swore specifically that he was not able to share with his wife his claims of his own abuse before he was facing years in prison for his repeated heinous crimes, including any claim of abuse by Bishop Jakes. Nevertheless, in her affidavit, in her affidavit submitted in support of defendant Youngblood's instant motion, she now claims that her husband was told that her husband had told her about his accusations against Bishop Jakes a few years before the spring of 2014. Oh, Tasha, what's up, Tasha? What's she is Tasha in here cutting up? I'll watch the replay. Oh, she watched. Okay. Defendant Youngblood's brother, Richard Youngblood. Let's talk about bro. According to an individual who knows Richard Youngblood and commented in September 2008 on a post titled Youngblood's Wicked Offenses on a website called Cast the First Stone, Richard Youngblood began spreading false claims about Bishop Jakes in 2008 because of Bishop Jakes' lack of support during Richard Youngblood's brother's Dwayne's molestation case. The commenter likewise stated, Richard mentioned that Jakes has known his family so long and that a man of his caliber could have easily spoke up in defense for Dwayne and maybe aided for his case. He wanted Bishop Jakes to know how he felt to be falsely accused of the same thing his brother was. He tried to talk him out of such ludicrous idea, but Richard was determined to get retribution for his family and the pain of such allegations have caused him. And there's the exhibit. It's going to be Nevertheless by Apostle Richard Youngblood. I tell you the truth. These apostles, ass-postles. That's what you're ass-postles. Okay, let's talk about the affidavit that came from Jeffrey S. Gray. Defendant Youngblood's affidavit, Jeffrey Gray, affiant, I want to get that word, affiant, I guess that's what it's called. Jeffrey Gray claimed to have been employed with Merrill Lynch in 1992 when Youngblood told him about his accusation against Bishop Jakes. However, according to Gray's own FINR broker check report, his FINRA registration with Merrill Lynch ended April 23rd, 1991. See, these attorneys were over there working. These attorneys were over there. You couldn't, Blackburn didn't ask no questions. Blackburn just filed a bunch of horse shit. That's all he did. He just filed it. He did not vet anybody. Well, this whole case, ain't nobody vetting nobody. People having interviews ain't even being vet. So, you know. So he didn't work. His Merrill Lynch career ended April 23rd, 1991, and he thereafter was not registered in any capacity with FINRA until November 17th, 1992. And they got and it was with PNC Securities, not Merrill Lynch, leaving a noticeable gap during the time he claims Youngblood told him about his accusations about Bishop Jakes. The false AI-generated social media campaign against Bishop Jakes. In his motion, and this was so stupid. It was so stupid for him to put all that stuff in there. In his motion, defendant Youngblood brings up the false AI-generated social media campaign that began in early December 2023 against Bishop Jakes. Bishop Jakes, like other prominent Black celebrities, became the unwitting target of a false and horrific YouTube campaign wherein dozens of the YouTube channels suddenly began posting videos with manufactured headlines and doctored images falsely depicting Bishop Jakes as being associated with Sean Diddy Combs' now infamous freak-off parties and implicated in his other allegations, criminally enterprises, and depicting Bishop Jakes in lewd and compromising positions and being arrested or put in jail or both. These allegations have been completely debunked by independent arbitrators, or whatever. These are arbiters. I like this word. These allegations are and have been proven to be absolutely false. For example, Snoops.com, the independent fact-checking site that researches and debunks rumors and other high-profile claims, independently verified that the claims about Bishop Jake's illicit connection with Mr. Combs' alleged conduct were false and unfounded. Similarly, NBC News investigated the flood of fake content on YouTube about prominent Black celebrities and leaders, including and specifically Bishop Jakes, and determined that the YouTube videos used manipulated media to depict celebrities engaging in lewd acts and exaggerated displays of emotion in video thumbnails. And the YouTube video titles and thumbnails indicate narratives or allegations that aren't in the videos themselves. Bishop Jakes has begun the legal process of holding the creators and disseminators of this false and malicious media campaign accountable for their conduct. Ex parte application of D.D. Jakes number, ex parte, I got to look at that one. Let me take a snapshot of that one. Authentication of attached documents. You know, remember he attached all that mess. Dwayne Youngblood was like a confused child. Attached as Exhibit 1. Okay. They're talking about these exhibits. Okay. Attached to a true copy of the criminal case file of Dwayne Eric Youngblood. Okay. So these are a lot of exhibits. So that's pretty much done with that. We can look at the exhibits. These are all the numbered exhibits of what they're going to be showing. And these are just, websites where you can go and check out everything that they said regarding all of the affidavit people, Dwayne Youngblood, Richard Youngblood, all of them. You can go and you can check out everything. And Dustin has signed it and he's good. What are we on? Okay, 1 of 2. Darrell Janey in support of plaintiffs' opposition. Okay. That's the Darrell Janey. She's an attorney as well. Okay. I make the declaration to transmit to the court the excerpt declaration of Nicholas G. offered by the plaintiff to authenticate the 2 podcast videos and issue in the case there. So they want to put in Larry's videos into the case. And these are just all the exhibits. Dwayne Youngblood and all his criminality. Who finna get it? Who finna get a check? Oh yeah. We got still people on the internet still throwing out allegations on people with no court documents. I'm still hearing it, especially in this church sector. I'm still hearing it. And I'm like, y'all just don't never learn. If there's a pervert at a church, I mean, if it's not in the courts, there's a bunch of perverts at the churches. But if it's not in the courts, you may want to hold off on just calling somebody that and running with it and putting it on a thumbnail. Let's see, this stuff is going to, this Jake stuff, it's going to put a lot of brakes on our feet now. It's going to do a lot. Yeah, this is just a lot of exhibits. I was trying to get to see, what is this, 9 of what? 9, 69. There's a lot of exhibits, y'all. It's a lot of exhibits. Let me just it's a lot. I don't think we're going to go through all. How's the weather in Ghana? Oh, Lord. He ain't in Ghana no more. They was partying last night for his birthday. You didn't see the party? I asked Marcellus if he was in Atlanta. I guess he didn't go. You didn't get no special invite. I see they had that Brian Andrew Wilson over there. That's the only artist I saw outside of Travis Malloy. Brian Wilson is hanging out now. You know, the guy who did used to sing with Mississippi Mass. He over there hanging out with Larry now. Brian Andrew Wilson. He's a good singer. Well, Larry did say he was going to have some industry folk there. Mm-hmm. It looked very festive. Very festive. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, these are a whole bunch of exhibits, y'all. It's just, I don't want to go through all these exhibits. Later on, if there's some like pictures and stuff that we want to check out, maybe I'll do that, but I don't want to go through all that. Is Regina in here? Is Marcellus in here? Do you guys want to come up? But I know you're going live in a little bit. I don't know if you want to come up. Tarsha, do you want to come up? Well, I don't know. Tarsha, you just got, I brought her your tongue, Tarsha. I brought her your tongue. I ain't worried about you. Content creators, if you want to come up and have a quick discussion about what we have been presented today. What say you guys in the chat? Do you think this is a great response? Do you think it's a nothing burger? Do you think it's grounds for a dismissal? Did they meet their point of dismissal? Anti-SLAPP? We got some clarity on a few things. Uh-oh. There is, I'm gonna replace that. Okay. If you Regina, Marcellus, if you want to come up, you can. There is the link. All right. That's for all right. There you go. All right. That was a lot to get through.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. All I got to tell you is I'm about to get these ninjas. I'm gonna leave it there for now. I said I got about 15 or 20 minutes to be with you.
And that's all I want to be on, because you're gonna go live, right?
I sure am.
Yeah.
Let me tell y'all.
It's Valentine's Day. I got things to do. Okay?
I do. Good. And you go celebrate your Valentine's, sir. Happy Valentine's Day to you and Juice Radio.
Yeah.
And let me just tell y'all, I'm about to get these ninjas.
So Marcellus, are you thinking a little better?
This is what I was waiting on, actually. Okay. This is what they should have did in the beginning, sir. Because if they would have did this in the beginning, it would have saved us a whole lot of time. And I'm just going to tell y'all right now, this case is going to move forward. Let me tell you what's going to cause this case to move forward. When that dummy bought those web domains and advertised those books and put in the preface of those books, TD Jakes is talking about the stuff that happened to him regarding TD Jakes and them other, that is what is going to seal his fate with this court case moving forward. You big dummy. And for the other side, it kept calling TD Jakes dumb and talking about how everybody was so dumb. No, that was dumb. And you
okay, Tasha, we'll get you next time.
You thought you was being slick, but no, you are the big dummies. Go ahead, Juice Radio. I'm a hush my mouth.
Listen, I just enjoy myself. All this information, you are a great reader. You should have read every docket at every court, because it would have been much more interesting than some of that stuff we hear in these court cases on these courts now. But listen,
grueling.
Oh my goodness, it's like candy. It's like
it's like candy. Ow, the way you walk and the way you talk. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It was thorough. Yes, inspired. I think this was more thorough than anything we've read before.
Yes. Listen, I don't know, man. This is like crazy, all this stuff that's going on. I cracked up every time you said the podcaster. I think they intentionally did that to try and diminish Larry.
The thing about, and they did, because they kind of helped. Then, other times they said at Larry Reid Live Show, but they have gone back to the podcaster and they have called him a wannabe spiritual leader.
Correct.
And he is a wannabe. Overzealous,
overzealous YouTuber, or overzealous. What did they say? Overzealous
somebody or
something. Yeah.
Well, you left off some stuff that I'm gonna make sure I cover. Mr. Munoz's his mug shot was up in there.
Okay.
You left off the fact that well, you talked about it, but Mr. Munoz, I mean, how you gonna get all these people to write affidavits for you and they all criminals?
They're all criminals. And affidavits are really supposed to support your claim. And listen to these people. They're reputable people, so we ought to really listen to them. They have come and debunked pretty much all of them folk.
One of them was a heroin dealer. Did you read the other people?
Yeah.
I say what?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think when a pastor got to lean on another essayer and a heroin dealer, you grasping at straws now. I'm just all I'm saying.
And I was concerned with that too, Tashi, because he had given a limit on pages. Maybe it was a limit on the actual, I think it may have been on the actual complaint, but not what is connected to.
Yeah, the exhibits are fine. It is the actual complaint filing. And he limited that in the proper amount of pages because the total amount of pages you all with this whole thing was like 500 pages. Just so y'all know. That was 500 pages.
Yeah.
Wow. Crazy. I that part where Dwayne at the beginning of all this, Dwayne was saying he wanted TD Jakes to dismiss his case. I'm like, why would you even ask TD Jakes to dismiss his, but you're not retracting your letter? I just didn't understand.
You're not retracting anything you said.
Right. Did you think that Bishop Jakes should retract his court case, his case against you? And did he try and do it like a bullying tactic? Was he like, "Oh, you need to dismiss this"? Or I don't understand. I don't understand this whole thing. To me, it's just bad.
He's listening to Larry and others that are just telling him that he's great. This is a wonderful lawsuit. It's dumb for Jakes, but Jakes in Jakes's affidavit, he said he's tired of them Negroes.
Yeah,
enough is enough, buddy.
Yeah. Enough is enough.
That this is Jake's first time that he has even responded to a lawsuit. I think I heard in there. Yeah. And this is going to be the first time, and I'm going to let y'all know. He is doing a straight Cardi B on this. He is like, I'm going to let you know how I stand. Don't come at me. And for those people who understand, the AI stuff and all the other videos, Jake's has also filed lawsuits against, I think it's was Google or YouTube or something.
He got those documents in there too.
Those are documents in there too. We got to research those as well. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Going after everybody, and this thing has made him go through that. One thing he did say in affidavit that you read, St. James, you said that his lawyer, I think, put something about the $1 billion that he got with Wells or whatever he got, and that Youngblood thing came right after that. I don't know if that timing was the same time because I remember reading about that loan that he's getting way before this. My thought was
they talked about it, but it didn't go kind of finality started coming down where they were going to they actually awarded him that.
Yeah. And as I said, Juice Radio in the chat, one reading Rainbow Story deserves another one.
Yeah.
It is all in how you write it, you word it, and you put it to your case. So
my goodness. Too much, guys. This is too much. Oh my goodness.
It's like candy.
But I don't, and the thing about it, and the windmilling will begin. People are going to come out in defense of Dwayne, in defense of whoever. But my thing is, you can't negate the fact that there was absolutely no vetting of any proof.
Well, I got a question for you. St. James. Which one of those? Because I don't listen to those people. I know you can maneuver and come in and out and go to all these places. Let me ask you something. Did any of them ninjas over there say that them people that wrote them affidavits was criminals? Did they say that? Did anybody say that?
I haven't heard. And again, I don't listen to everything. I don't listen to that stuff a lot anymore. But I didn't hear anybody mention any criminal background of
anybody in the chat. Remember Larry and them mentioning Mr. Munoz and the other person was a heroin dealer?
Yeah, when Blackburn got on Larry's show, he didn't mention that.
But they keep calling TD Jakes dumb. He's so dumb. Oh no, it looks like y'all were mighty dumb. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
I think the reason they kept saying dumb is because Larry kept saying that on his platform. He kept calling TD Jakes dumb.
That's a scare tactic, you all. That's just something they say to get people not to file their lawsuits against them. That's what that is.
And it also further like really damages his character. You know, because you're putting that in the atmosphere that, you know, this prominent leader ain't as prominent as you think. He's stupid. He's dumb. So it's putting in the atmosphere something that is defaming as well.
It is.
You know,
when you're talking about somebody's character, and that's going to make his attorneys come at you even more so, because you know that the down talking about a man who's as intellectual as TD Jakes and has accomplished so much as TD Jakes has done, and for someone who's not even at TD Jakes level, like people talk about being people's level, you know, that you just don't do that to somebody and think that, you know, they're not going to come at you hard when they have to. And that's why I don't like all this putting down stuff, you know. I mean, just, it's crazy this whole thing has gotten to all of this, because you want to be angry. And it says something about Richard was the Sunday school teacher for Jake's
youth minister for Germaine. And isn't that interesting that they left off the end of Germaine's text? When Dwayne, I'm not to interrupt that, but he said Richard was his youth minister back in the day, but they left off Dwayne's response to the text. That was awfully convenient.
But that was so convenient for them because they were shaping a narrative and they were trying to create a certain narrative. And we're just so very grateful and thankful to the lawyers for pulling and digging up this information.
They said that's why Jakes was tired the other night at Bible study. He had to take that down because he was tired. He was uprighting.
My goodness.
And the thing about it, I mean, they can come in and say Germaine conjured up this reason why. The fact of the matter is, if it's been shown to the court, no, this is what I sent him, but they cut off his response. It wasn't a threat against Jakes. It wasn't. But and then to try to throw him in I want to be able to sue Germaine. Sue him if you want to. What that got to do with the price of tea in China? We over here doing this. This ain't about Germaine. You can sue him if you want to. You know, so
this is one shakedown that they ain't getting it, because I'm telling you, Jesus is standing firm. He is standing firm, and rightfully so. If you've been accused of, but you know, the thing is, there's a lot of people on both sides of it. There are people that still believe that Jakes is guilty, you know, based on what they're hearing in their belief and so forth. And that's them. But it's really sad that somebody has to fight this hard for their own character. This is character assassination. This is basically what it is. You know, if somebody has to fight this hard for this. Now, the sad part will be if any of this is found to be true from Jakes, any slight little bit.
My thing is, if that was the case, we would have saw it by now.
Correct.
If that was the case, we would have saw the evidence by now. It even not saying that he's never done anything, but we're talking about this particular stuff. And we have heard Larry say about the fixers and the car. You know, if that was the case, something would have came out by now that was not disputable.
And what did the lawyer say in the documents? That Larry lies. I want to repeat what I've also said on the platform. Larry Reid Live should be called Larry Reid Lies.
That's what they said.
He loves to say he's the most integral person. Well, you heard it again. This is now the second lawsuit where the lawyers have stated in the documentation that he is a liar.
You know, and I hear it now. I hear it now. Oh, this was so dumb. No, you better just consider this it's real. And I don't think that. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. There was a person that tried to warn Dwayne. What was the gentleman's name that tried to warn him before he even went on Larry Reid? And he was like noted. Dwayne
that
responded.
Was Germaine. That's what I'm talking. Germaine Jakes, his son. Bishop Jakes' son.
Who?
That was him. He tried to, but he's flipped it around and said it was a threat, and went to after the complaint. Then he said his lawyer told him to go and make a complaint with the police.
I am Courtney. Somewhere in outer space, God has prepared a place for those who will trust him and obey. And although we don't know when, Jesus is surely coming again, and the countdown's getting lower every day. Let me tell you what paperwork was for me. It's a wonder in my soul. It's a wonder in my soul. It's a wonder in my soul.
Save that solo. Save that solo. Oh my goodness. Listen here. It's a wonder in my soul. Let me tell y'all something. You don't go around, because see, this is what I've been waiting on. All they had to do was pull that letter from Blackburn, which they did. That's in the exhibit. I don't know. Did you show that on the thing? No. I didn't go all the way down.
Okay, because they pulled the letter, you guys. The letter that Tyrone Blackburn sent is one of the exhibits.
Is it? Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I gotta see that. Oh, I didn't. Do you know what number it is?
Oh no, you got to open up all of them.
You know what? Pages. It's right in the beginning. It'll tell you.
Yeah.
What? Hold on.
They put the letter in there. So when I saw that letter, because see, that's what I told y'all. If y'all listen to Mad Church Disease, I told y'all in the videos. This is what they needed to do from the beginning. Yeah, this is why I know for a fact, this gonna move forward. Y'all done made a mistake. You should have never tried to come out with that book and put TD Jakes' name on the preface of that book. You dummies are now about to face the music.
Well, let me tell you this also. Jakes, it sounds to me in this court document that was filed today that Jakes is going after Dwayne Youngblood for all of his ailments, even when his wife's knee was hurting.
That's right. That's right.
Ailment, and he is putting it on him. He was like, okay, you don't bother me too much, and now he's going to put every single ailment that he's had on Youngblood. And that's where the damages comes in, because those of you that have been following this know that Jake's filed a lawsuit. His lawsuit was only $75,000 plus lawyer fees and punitive damages. So some people look at that $75,000 and say, well, that's such a small number, but you ain't see what that lawyer fee is going to be or the punitive damages is going to be.
Right. Yeah, but the reason why you have to do 75 because 75 is the minimum, and see, you go up from the 75. You're not limited to the 75. So, get ready for it.
That punitive damages can be unlimited, from my understanding. It could be based on what he claims that his damages are, and I think that's one of the reasons why allegedly he's putting all these ailments in there. You know, bothering me when my wife when he was hurting, and I had to go to the hospital, and all this stuff and going on and so forth. I think that's going to be part of the punitive damages charges.
Well, he's going to be working for the Salvation Army out there singing, I need you, you need me, we're all a part of God's body. Get ready.
No, St. James, not that one. He's going to be singing, I need you.
I need you. That's what he's going to be singing.
That's the one he's going to be singing, St. James. Not you and me. He's singing that one.
The thing about it, but like he was saying in there, he's doing this for all the people that have been affected by the podcaster. You see that wording in there, Jake's put?
It sounds to me like they are gearing up to come after the podcaster.
They are.
Because that
better run.
Yeah.
You better run.
Yeah, they are. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it sounds like they're building up something against that, but it's just listen.
I've been in the bathroom about 19 times through St. James Live. This done tickled me.
Oh man, I was trying to find that letter. I really want to find the
it's in there. Let me see if I can pull it up for you, because I had to open almost every freaking document.
I know that's what I tried. I know it's not one of the large ones, so I didn't click the real large one, so that won't take.
Listen here, St. James. They even pulled the blog, the old blog that Richard Youngblood had up, where he was making all of them salacious claims against TD Jakes. They even went to the FINRA website and pulled up the documentation on the broker that he claims that he went and that other man said that he had that encounter with. Y'all remember where he said he went to the insurance office and had that run in with the guy that tried to
yes.
They even pulled up the FINRA paperwork on that, and apparently that man is dead. So they're only picking on the people that they can. Let me give you the number. It's 37-29.
37.
Pull up the document 37-29.
Okay, let me go.
Oh, I'm about to rip these fools apart. You
Yeah,
hear me?
that's what it was. So cosmic, the overzealous blogger. Yeah, the overzealous blogger.
Overzealous blogger. Yeah, yeah.
Cosmic. Mm-hmm.
37 point. Let me see if I can.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, they got a wealth.
Do you know what the page number is on top or no?
It just says 37-29, and it says page. Well, it's exhibit 25. So when you see it, it's exhibit.
Oh, okay, that's what
25.
I wanted to. Yeah, so it's exhibit 25.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me ask you guys, I didn't check it. Is Youngblood still married to his wife?
That's what they say.
That's what they say. Mm-hmm.
That's what they say.
Richard has divorced his wife, from my understanding, correct?
Oh, they were divorced way back in the Jake's days because he blamed Jake's for turning his wife against him.
If Regina wasn't on this program, I'd say something, but out of respect for Regina, I'm not going to say.
Out of respect, save it for your platform.
I'm gonna save it for my platform because I'm about to be in rare form. I'm just gonna. No, I ain't gonna say nothing, Regina. We good. We good.
Okay, 37.
Oh, man, I want to hear. Okay, I'm gonna come over there. He said, "You missed my clothes was on." I said, "I was taking care of some paperwork." He's like, "Marcel, check the replay."
No, they got clothes and everything.
Oh, yes.
What's going on?
They got everything. They done dug up everything, you guys.
They got what on there?
What you said, exhibit 25?
No, it's exhibit 37-29, but it's exhibit 25.
Okay, let me go back in because this thing it's just.
Well, just if you want to, let me share my screen because you know I can share my screen.
35. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna do that right now. How I do that? Let's see.
Hold on. Let me pull the screen over first so I can make sure I'm ready. Hold on. What are we gonna do? Boom. Then it says share, and then I think I have
back at exhibits, and you said it was 35.
Do you see? Does it ask you to let me share my screen?
Okay. Let me see.
Yeah. Okay, Irene. Thank you. Yeah. Which one had most?
Where it says present at the bottom, you see the little present, and then it has
all right.
Go down there.
Okay. Share screen, and then how do I let you share?
It's supposed.
Let me see if it's actually on yours.
Y'all cracking me up in these comments. Y'all are hilarious.
Oh, they've been cutting up all day, man.
Do I need to? Let me just see if I could send this over to you then.
Okay.
Everything. How you doing?
Because I'm on the exhibit page, the attachment page, exhibit, and why is mine only going up to 28?
Hey, JP.
Okay. Let me listen. You got it's 37. Yeah. See, because you got a lot of documents here, bro. But
maybe I need to go to the next page. Oh,
yeah,
well, it's 562 pages.
Exactly. You got to go to 37-29. But did they send it to you? Did you do it all in one big old file, one long file, or it should be broken up?
I see the whole 37, but let me go back here.
So you have paid for 500 and something pages?
No, it's free. Well, yeah,
no,
you got to pay for Pacer.
You got to pay for Pacer, yeah, but that could be a little costly too.
Yeah, for some court documents I get, you have to pay per page.
While St. James is looking for the paperwork,
because this one is saying just going up to 32, and I'm like, there's more.
Y'all know the Hilliard, they sealed their documents.
Did they?
Yes, they did. Oh, yes, they did.
Because I believe they're probably already divorced, Regina.
Yeah, they are, because they were doing that day that they were supposed to be going in. That was the same day they sealed their documents. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my God! And I can't wait till you see this document, St. James, because at the bottom of it, that should make you laugh.
Is that right?
I mean, this old cut and paste stuff he done did that he done got.
And that's what he did. And as they said in there, Yeah, he didn't think he would have to do any work. He thought he was just going to get a quick payment, but he figured out he had to do some work. Exhibit. Yeah, this is why. Did you send me something?
Oh, you want me to send it to you? Okay, let me send it over.
Yeah, because I'm in it, but it's not showing me. Like it only goes up to Exhibit 32.
How do you want me to send it?
Send it to Instagram.
You want an Instagram? Okay, here it comes.
Then because I have Instagram up already.
All right, let me do it right now. Let's drop this paper over there,
and I can just share it like that.
Hold on one
Hit that
second.
like button, everybody. Thank you for hanging out with us. We want to see this demand letter, and then we'll probably end it here.
What did I say? It was 3729. Let me drag this over there to the one and only St. James.
Let's see here. I don't know why I can't. It's showing me just the 32.
Okay, sir. I've sent the document.
Okay, let me look in here. I got it.
I got it. Yes, got it. My feet.
Okay. It's open now. Oh, so Exhibit 25.
That's what I said.
I thought you said like, I don't know.
No, if you look at the top of the documents, though, the way the documents come in, they're labeled by PDF. It's 37-29.pdf. But if you're looking at the exhibit, it's Exhibit 25.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. So this is the demand letter.
This was the
and I
demand
pulled
letter.
this up. Okay. Boy. My firm has been retained by Dwayne Youngblood regarding harm visited upon him by Bishop Thomas Dexter Jakes. The nature of Mr. Youngblood's concerns, unwarranted sexual assault and harassment. Oh, so they said it right up in here. Okay, so see, now that makes sense. This letter is intentionally void of the graphic details. The purpose of this letter is to encourage the parties to resolve this matter quickly and privately.
I hate to pause you. Let's go back to the top. He said that his firm was what by Dwayne Youngblood?
Oh,
it was retained. The firm has been retained.
Not right there. Those kind of words matter when you're going to the judge and you're telling the judge that you were not Dwayne Youngblood's attorney. Because according to this document, you told the judge, which is a lie. You said to the judge that you were not retained and you was not this man's attorney. So when they originally came to you, sir, you said you was not this man's attorney. You said in this document you was retained. I'm sorry for interrupting you, St. James.
Right. What's up, Social Fire?
I just had to make the comment. Now, if you go down further with your next statement that you read, you said we're gonna not put the graphic details.
Details. This is such. This makes it way more clear now.
Yes, it does.
Marcellus, you better come on, investigate.
I am. I'll be on in 15 minutes. I'm gonna light these ninjas up.
And just the thing about it, and then it's the courage to resolve the matter quickly and privately. Then in bold, for settlement purposes only. The opening settlement demand is $6 million. The demand is negotiable. Wow. Mr. Youngblood first learned of and was introduced to the respondent as a young teenager. Mr. Youngblood was raised in the church, and his family often visited Bishop Wade Jones' church throughout Mr. Youngblood's teenage years. Respondent often visited Bishop Jones' church. During one of these visits, respondent began sexually assaulting and or harassing Mr. Youngblood upon information and belief. Mr. Youngblood was between 17 and 20.
Now let's stop right there. I'm sorry, you all. Words matter. The respondent began doing what?
Right.
Doing
and
what?
Nothing he said was a sexual assault. In my opinion, other people may say the hug and the missed kiss. There have been people that come on here and try to wear me out that I said, in my opinion, it didn't, warrant that. But to each his own.
But I think Youngblood really messed himself up when he gave so much more graphic information about the others he mentioned in his interview.
Stuff. Yeah.
And then what he mentioned regarding TD Jakes. And I think that is really what, I'm still looking at, where's the demand letter to those?
That's what they said in the case, in this response. They were like, you described much more stuff with these other men. Why aren't you going after Watkins? Why aren't because Watkins ain't got no $6 million.
Well, Watkins got some money. He's 91.
But not Jake's money.
He ain't got Jake's money, but Watkins got some money. But let me just say this. At 91 years old, just like you said earlier, St. James, that man gonna get on the stand and he ain't gonna remember nothing. He's 90-something years old. He ain't gonna know what you talking about.
And the jury gonna sit there and say, okay, all right.
Now, this the funny part to me. Now, I know this because I'm a little petty and y'all pray for me because the Lord is working on my petty. Now, if you scroll down to the bottom of this letter.
Okay, we'll get there. We'll get there. Hold on. Okay, we did that. As respondent's career
Wait. Ready, read. That's what the church
said. As respondent's career took off, Mr. Youngblood interactions with him decreased over time. Mr. Youngblood was forced to interact with the respondent with the encouragement and urging of Dr. Sherman S. Watkins. Mr. Youngblood obliged, and he confronted respondent about the harm respondent visited upon him. Respondent said, at that time, my stock was rising and I would have slept with anyone. After this distasteful confession, Mr. Youngblood was forced to interact with the respondents throughout the years due to their membership in the same organization. Liar, liar, pants on fire. Conclusion. Mr. Youngblood has authorized my office to make a pre-litigation settlement demand of $6 million. This settlement will provide Mr. Youngblood with the necessary resources to help him pay for the psychological services he needs.
Oh, wait a minute. Come on. Okay. He
compensate him for the physical trauma his teenage body endured. This demand is negotiable.
See, that part right there makes me very upset because we know that there are victims that Youngblood did. What about their psychological health? What about their young bodies?
This is crazy to me.
So selfish.
It's very selfish. Let's see this next page. You have 7 days from the date of this letter to accept this offer of private resolution. If we do not hear from you by November 23rd, 2024, we will view your silence as rejection of this offer and proceed to file suit without delay. They filed what, on the 24th or 5th?
25th, I think.
Although we hope this matter will be resolved privately, we must provide you with a preservation notice. This matter may result in litigation between Mr. Youngblood and respondents. Therefore, we are providing respondent with the preservation notice. The term you, your, or yours as us, her, and responds to you. Okay. From this point on forward, let's see. If you call,
all that mean is save all your documents because we're gonna take you behind the court.
Right.
Now, scroll down to the bottom of the letter and look at this cut and paste letterhead. Wait, go back up.
Right here.
You see where this? No, go back right there. You see where it says his phone number and his email. Go back up. Go back up. This is a cut and paste kind of template that they have that lists his phone number, his email, and that website. That is a template. So that is not by design. I'm just saying, sir, you got nobody fooled. You went into Microsoft Publisher and came out with that little document and landed your behind in court. That is all I have at this time, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so very much for allowing me to come up, St. James. I will see you.
Send me your link and I'll
You want me to do it? Hold on. Let me do it now before
and
I get
I'll
off
direct everybody over there.
because I will forget unless I do it.
Better send it now.
I'm about to cut up.
This is
send me the link. Send me the link. I know YouTube. We can redirect too.
Yes, I'm gonna do redirect. That's I'm gonna redirect them on YouTube. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, send it to me because I'm not going live. I'm sitting right here and I'm just gonna chill and watch the man church disease on this Valentine's Day while hubby in there getting over that cough.
Is he sipping that coffee?
No, he
St. James.
I
put it in the private chat for you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
You can
ladies and gentlemen, he needs $6 million for psychological. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Regina, I might have to send it to you through Instagram
or text it to me. My direct number.
Okay, yeah, because I got too many things open right now. Let me see if I can text it to you right now. Oh, this is horrible.
Anyway you do, any way you bless me. Any way you bless me, I'll be satisfied.
I just can't wait for the people to start windmilling. And, because Larry doesn't put any of this on his own platform. He doesn't like to, muddy his own platform with this kind of stuff. So that's why he goes on other people's platforms.
Well, you know who doesn't know what Larry is doing? Because somebody unsubscribed? Moi. I gave him 3 days. I gave him the amount of time it took Jesus to rise. I gave him 3 days. He did. I got it, St. James, Marcellus.
All right, peace out, you all. I'll see you in a minute.
Unsubscribe. All right. Thank you.
I'll redirect everybody there. I'm putting it in right now. Let's see here. Where's my customized? There we go. But Regina, this is I still say it's real sad. I really say it's sad.
Lawyers are making so much money. When Youngblood gets that Jake's lawyer bill, oh my God, what that bill is going to look like is going to probably make him fall out his chair.
And that's the thing about it, because they're going to have to pay. And these kind of things you can't bankrupt away. There's no bankruptcy available for these kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to pay.
Yeah, he's gonna need more than Amazon books, and people don't want to shop at Amazon right now, so his book sale might be low. And I don't think he got his website up and running just so that you can buy it through him. He is a Black-owned company. I don't know if the people out there buying Black-owned right now. I don't know if he's part of the DEI initiative program. So he just doing how he gonna make that money. But when you come after people with allegations as this, you just got to be smart about it. You can't be greedy. I think he went in way too greedy. Even if he would have came at a lower number, Jake's team would have probably been like, just pay this guy something to have him go away. We don't want to even deal with it. No,
though, because it was
low enough.
But he was on Larry's platform. And so I don't think he would have chopped it up as that, because what has Larry been saying for a long time now? Jake's will just pay you off. So you want to deliver another story in Larry's hand to say that he's been paid off? I don't think that would have happened for any amount. Just because it was how it was connected. Had it been him privately going to him,
right?
Maybe he would have did a Lord just to shut him up, get him out of here, get out of my face. But because of his connection, no.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's awful.
He really had no choice but to sue at this point.
Right. Sean Renee. Yeah. Well, Jake says he's setting precedents right now, and he's not backing down. And I'm actually glad. He is standing up. Yep. I'm actually glad that the lawyers are standing up. The lawyers are being very thorough. That research team is on it. I mean, they are not
every one of them affidavit people. I think that he had about 7 or 8 affidavits, and they debunked. Well, they put some more additional information on about 6 of them. So,
I'm glad I did not interview Youngblood. I'm glad he told me no. Yes, your Lord. Thank you for blocking it.
You didn't need that anyway.
The Juice Radio and Talk Show, the podcaster. I wouldn't have been podcaster number 2. I don't want to be podcaster number 2. So thank you, Lord, for blocking it. Thank you.
Because you never know what he would have said.
Yeah.
And it would have wrapped you right up in there, because again, I know you apathy. I would have never, because I never. Well, you could have got him on there and said, now.
Oh, I would have.
You have proof?
You-
you could have talked in a way where you were, making him
a real interviewer.
Yes, and saying,
Mhm.
well, you're saying this and you've been saying this, but do you have anything that would actually stick? And
Listen, I don't even recall him using the word allegedly one time in that interview. I don't recall.
I don't either. I don't either.
Mm-mm.
And
Yeah.
see, they didn't like how when he would not say, like they mentioned in this response, and how Larry would come up and kind of reiterate what you said and kind of put, and it's like sometimes you don't do that because you're adding to it.
Mm-hmm.
So you're saying what you're saying is you've been groomed.
Ooh.
Then that's what was, they're like the podcaster was sitting there adding stuff onto it.
Adding. That's the issue. He was adding. Hey,
Yeah.
Robert James. Hey, my friend.
Hey.
Yeah, he was adding to it, and that was terrible. This whole whatever they allegedly was trying to set up has really just. I mean, this has come back around, and it's coming with vengeance. This is like one of the worst swingbacks.
Yeah.
And it's going to teach a whole bunch of lessons, and it's going to cost somebody a whole bunch of money.
And I hope the people who have connected with these people, I hope it works out for them. Hope it works out for them. Because there's another thing of being biased, being objective, that's fine. Mm-hmm. But when people have presented absolutely nothing to you to support their claim, you're not being biased by saying, no, I can't get with you because it just didn't add up. Right. It's just not adding up.
Right.
I just can't get with you because it's not adding up. That's all.
I think the problem is also the interviewer never challenged the statements.
No.
He never challenged the statements, and that is part of, and the way he carried that whole thing, it just, let me tell you, even when I saw the interviewers emotional state and expressions, and the moment where even I gasped at things that was said and the interviewer did not gasp, I was like, are you kidding me? Oh, this is like y'all done had this conversation before y'all came on.
It was like a pre-conversation because
it felt that way.
Yeah.
That's the way it felt. It felt just like, okay, y'all done rehearsed this. Because we all know how the interviewer is, how his actions are, and his, oh my God. But we didn't see any of that. And so we're like, something is curious about this. It's strange. But, when you go after somebody's character, know that you don't know how that swing back is going to come back. You can't be out here trying to just go after somebody's pocket because you felt you were mistreated in a way that to so many people. I mean, yes, go after somebody if you felt you were mistreated, but have some validity to what you're trying to gain and look at it yourself. If somebody were to say these same allegations towards you,
that's how I look at that thing. That's how I look at things, Regina, though. That's really how I look at things. It's like, if you're going to say I did something, present the proof to me.
Right.
Present the proof to me. If I did you wrong or did something, no, don't just say it. Don't throw rumors out there. And I don't care who they come from. If the person is reputable or you think, no, if it's not the truth, it's not the truth. Show me what I did. Prove it to me, so yeah.
This was all wrong. This was all wrong. This was all wrong.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, all of this has now come out of it, and it's sad. But the people that I really keep thinking about every time I hear of this case is the two victims that we know about that Dwayne Youngblood victimized. Those are the people that I really think about. And get this, St. James. I'm not even sure if they're the only ones, allegedly.
That's what I'm saying. And generally, that's not the case. Everybody doesn't talk.
Right.
Everybody, they may talk 20 years from now, 30 years. Everybody doesn't talk. That doesn't mean he doesn't have any more victims.
Right. Yeah.
Sad. That's just what he's been convicted of. So
that's right, Paul, the two that told.
Yeah, these are the two that told. Yeah. So I don't want to stay on too long. Thanks for coming up. I'm gonna get off of here. I'm sure we're going to be talking about this a little bit more.
Yeah, I'm going to go over here, man. Church disease. We're going to go over here. We're going to swing over there on this Valentine.
Yeah, we're going to go over to Marcellus. When I hit the live, when I hit exit the stream, it'll shoot everybody over to Marcellus. All right.
All right. Good night,
Joe. Good night. What's up, Lady Sparkles? Good to see you. All right, Tangela. All right, everybody. I hope you enjoyed hanging out tonight. Would you do me a great big favor? Make sure you hit that like button before you get out of here. Thank you for those who did support the channel with super chats and with your Cash App donations. And there is your handle to support, to send your love gift. Tonight, it's really a love gift. That's what it is. I love it. Make sure you put some hearts in them Cash App replies when you send it. Give me some hearts. This is your love gift. So thank you for supporting. Let's run through this really quick. Let's see our supporters for the night. Thank you, T. Davis, for becoming a member. Thank you, Bonnie Bell, for your $5 donation. Super chat. Thank you, Jamie P. Thank you, Color Me Oakland, for your $9.99 donation. Thank you, Melanie Rice, for your $5 donation. Londa, for your $9.99 donation. Appreciate you. $5. Thank you, Dana Dane, for your $5 donation. Uncle Paul, thank you so much for your $10 donation. Mari, thank you for your $5 donation. Tangela Fleming, Tangela, I appreciate you. Thank you for your $20 donation. And Giselle, right, thank you for your $9.99 donation. And again, Truth Seeker, I appreciate you. Thank you. We will keep it going. Thank you for your $4.99 donation. All right, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the show. If you're catch the replay, if you're coming in late, go ahead and catch the replay. You can listen to all the documents that I read. It was great. Yes, thank you so much, Uncle Paul. Appreciate you. We are getting out of here. All right. So maybe we'll stick around for some. But I'm gonna do a short little deal so we can go over there to Marcellus, all right, and check him out. He's going to be talking about it more. It's always fun to get in the chat and share your opinion on what's going on. So let's keep it going tonight, all right? Happy Valentine's Day to everybody. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening.